everybody, and willkommen to F1 Tonight NL. And joining me in the commentary box this evening, I am so glad and happy to say and welcome my good friend and co-colleague here, co-commentator, Adrian Stats Rich.
Hello, I know you're pleased to see me, but you have no idea how pleased I am to see you and be back on commentary with you for this F1 Tonight Netherlands race.
Fantastic. That's what we like to hear. All good stuff. And especially as we are back here at Spa Francorchamps, which in season 5, correct me if I'm wrong, Adrian, claimed quite a few.
Yeah, there were a number of drivers, but most memorable for me was probably John Donkel, just, I don't know, falling asleep at the wheel around in the last sector somewhere. I think he hit the wall on the left-hand side.
Yeah. Total wipeout, I believe it was. So let's catch up with this Drivers' Championship. And leading the way is Nicky Visser for Red Bull on 167 championship points. However, in second place is Demi Hartmann for Toro Rosso on 148, only 19 points behind. Third place, another Toro Rosso, Hans van der Berg on 128. In fourth, we have Baz Den Bruijn in the McLaren, 122. And in fifth, Boy Williamson for Red Bull on 121. Then in 6, we have Zander Hermans. 7, his teammate Marcel Dronig. Williams lockout for 6-7 in the Drivers' Championship. Sil de Wit has gone up somewhat through the field since joining, and he's now up in 8th place. Then we have 9, Yule Tyson for Mercedes. 10 is John Donkel in that Ferrari. 11, Guido Urschen. 12, Mark Stappers. 13, Peter Phillips. 14, Jamie Collane. 15, Nishay Mahadwa Singh. 16, Martin Parder Cooper. 17, Miguel Torney. 18, Paul Quaret. 19 is our new driver. And do you know what, Adrian?
Has he got the same?
I can't
has he got the same
name.
first name as me? Isn't it
Adri Kopp. Is it Adri Kopp?
Yeah, it's Adri
I think
Kopp.
it is. You can check it for me. I'm sorry, it's new driver. I apologise, Adri. I did have it, but then it just went. And then 20, we got his teammate in that Racing Point, Marcel France. Well, Adrian, that table. It's close, isn't it? I mean, that top 5 is still pretty damn close. We're on round 13. We've still got effectively 9 races, including this one. Anything can happen, but it's tight, isn't it? It's close.
Yeah, and especially when you consider that Nicky actually won 5 of the first 6 races. 5 of the first 6 races. And now there's only a 19-point gap between himself and the current champion, Demi Hartmann. Yeah,
well, what did we say, unfortunately, before we were off air for a couple of weeks? But I remember making comment that Demi didn't have a great start to season 5. It was round about sort of that British Grand Prix that he started to come up and rise through. And it looks like we're seeing a repeat of that season 5 performance, certainly on the table anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he seems to. He's. I know we always talk about consistency. He didn't have the greatest start, but then he didn't have the greatest start last season, and ended up winning the championship.
Yeah, indeed.
But yeah, it just goes to show for Nicky that it takes more than a few back-to-back wins. You've really got to kind of maintain that pace and that mentality throughout the whole season to be able to be there at the end.
Yeah,
still a way to go.
Absolutely. Baz Den Bruijn, obviously, previous, well, not champion we've established, but he's certainly come very, very close and always been up there. Still there in 4th. Boy Williamson in 5th. Then we've got the lockout from Williams, 6-7. I think that's pretty impressive for this season as well. Yeah,
there's a period of time when Dronig was actually ahead of his arguably perhaps a slightly quicker teammate. Sander won the first race actually at Australia, but they're both sort of fairly equally matched at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before you move on, I just want to touch on Baz de Bruijn. Actually, I know we said he's never won the championship. But he has won the Constructors' Championship every single season.
Yes, that's it. I knew there was something, but I couldn't remember quite which it was. But yeah, he's always been in the winning team, certainly. Then we got the new boys, Sil de Wit and Yul Tyson. Where do they come from? What are they
Holland,
doing?
Hopefully.
Yeah, Holland, hopefully. That's true, yeah.
But no, great stuff from Sil and indeed Yul, who Yul went through a period. His first 3 races, he got 2 wins and a third place, I think it was, off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And no, not 2 wins and a third. It was 2 wins and 9 points. Where'd you get 9 points? Oh, because he had a fastest lap.
Are you telling me, asking me, or just talking to yourself, Adrian? Wasn't too sure which one that was there.
I was talking to myself. I shouldn't do that on here. Sorry about that.
Okay.
It's been a while.
It has, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. So, Travis is certainly looking very, very tight indeed throughout, I think, really, that table. Let's have a look at the Constructors' Championship now. So, leading the way, we have Red Bull on 288 points, and it's Ari Cop. I just remembered that. Ari. All right, Ari. Then we have Toro Rosso in second on 276 points, only 12-point difference. Rocket Williams, third on 181. Fourth are McLaren on 175. 5 are Ferrari on 85. 6 are Mercedes on 85. 7 are Renault on 85. And then we have Haas on 31. Alfa Romeo 7 and Racing Point still nil point, but then again they haven't had a full complement of drivers at all this season, so that is the reason for that. Again, we can see the drivers very much reflected in the Constructors, and this Constructors still pretty open, certainly I'd say for that third place at least.
Yeah, and even for the win, because only what's that, 12 points, which is really nothing in the sort of constructors' terms. Yeah. Between the 2 Honda powered teams, actually, Red Bull and their sister team Toro Rosso. Yeah. But we've seen that pretty much all season. Really interesting that there's 3 teams on the same points there. All on 85. That's courtesy of their respective drivers, of course. Many of them are new. Indeed. Very many of them are new. Okay, let's have a look at the track itself. And I've got to be honest, I didn't actually put in the race length or the number of laps because I forgot. We'll let you off, Eddie. It's just good to have you back.
It's just this one. How many laps are we looking at here at Spa, actually?
I believe Spa is 44 laps off the top of my head.
44? Blimey. Yes. Okay. But still going to be around about 190 miles and around about 2.5 miles per track. You can see I've put all the corner names on there because they are named. The majority of them. It is an iconic historical track here at Spa, isn't it, Adrian? Yes, yeah, massively. It's one of the jewels in the Formula One crown, which has a lot of jewels. Yeah, to be fair. Indeed. Rather like Her Highness's crown, really, isn't it? Lots of jewels. Yeah. But none of them half-inched and none of them returned, but never mind. 19 corners, 3 sectors. First sector takes us from the start finish line up to just before turn 5. Second sector takes us then from just before turn 5 to between 14 and 15. And the third and final sector from just out of Stavelot, then down to the start finish straight. 2 DRS points. First DRS point is as you are coming out of that wonderful Eau Rouge Radiant corner climb, let's say, onto that Kemmel Straight, leading you into Lecum 5, 6, 7. Then the second DRS detection zone or detection point is just before you come into the final chicane, and that activates on that start finish straight, bringing you down to turn 1. The obvious corner or set of corners that these guys need to watch is that Eau Rouge Radiant, isn't it? That is the classic. Yeah, that's the killer corner. It's obviously where the
sort of more recently. Unfortunately, the tragic loss of Antoine Hubert was at that very corner in the Formula 2 earlier this year.
Indeed, it was. Yeah, absolutely tragic during the actual season itself. And we played tribute to him, I think, during I can't remember which race we were actually on, but once again, played tribute to that young man who lost his life in that F2 race. But it is a tricky track. And then we come to the Welkom turns. You've got to be in tune with those. You then drop downhill out of 7 into 8. That Brussels, sort of like, it's not a direct hairpin, but a sort of like, I suppose, winding hairpin close. 8's there. It's very tricky turn, that 8, and it's easy to get wrong, isn't it?
It never seems to end for me. I find every time I do it, especially in the rain, it just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we've got Pouhon. Looks like a fairly straight left-hand turn. Not always the case.
No.
And then we come round turn 11, and that is, turn 10, Pouhon. You've got to really be careful. And then you've got to watch that exit of 11 as you come down to 12, 13, and that campus turn as well. It's just... This is a full-on track. You've got to be full concentration all the way. It's not an easy track by any stretch of the imagination, is it?
I completely agree, Eddie. Yeah, you just mentioned coming out of Pouhon. Yeah, if you touch that rumble strip on the inside, it almost doesn't matter what setup you have or what you're doing with the throttle or steering. You will spin if you raise the car up on that curb.
Yeah.
Because with those G-forces, you're doing about 180 as you come round that bend, and it will just throw the car out.
Absolutely. You've then got to watch it into 12, especially 13, and you're braking into there as you come round that downhill turn 14 Stavelot. Again, tricky turn. If you get it right, it's beautiful because you've got fantastic. Get it right, you've got a wonderful exit and entry into turn 15 round the Paul Frere corner there, and then sweeping left into Blanchimont 17. I mean, that's a high speed cornering on that sort of third sector there around those sets of corners, isn't it?
Yeah, and the exit of Stavelot as well at that turn 15, it has such a bearing on your overall lap time because the next sort of third of the circuit almost is completely flat out. So the better you do that particular corner, the faster you'll be going by the end of it, and the more time you'll save.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we come down to that infamous chicane 18, 19. You've got to really watch your braking. And on those first opening laps, with all those cars close together, it can get somewhat tricky. Watch your exit out at 19 as you lay down the power, especially with the DRS activation as well. And then we come down to La Source, turn 1. On the opening, it's normally fairly chaotic, bit of a jam there. But again, it's a great overtaking opportunity, though, that turn 1 La Source, isn't it? Yeah, big time. It's one of the tightest corners on the circuit, on the calendar. I think it's actually the third tightest, if you want to be sort of really pedantic about it. It goes Monaco, then Suzuka, and then that particular corner. I would expect nothing less from you than pedantic, Adrian, I've got to say. I'd be disappointed if it wasn't.
I insist on taking that as a compliment.
Please do, because it is one, honestly. Okay, right. So we are now going to switch across to the live transmission. The guys are, in fact, in Q1. So, Adrian, if you could take it away while I get that ready.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a number of drivers won't be racing here this evening. In fact, we should have 18. Only 2 we know of have dropped out. Try and work out who the other 2 are in just a moment. But so definitely not racing tonight. We've got Marcel França for Racing Point and Miguel Torni, his former teammate actually in the Alfa Romeo. So they're definitely not racing. Sil de Wit, he is racing. He's greyed out on the screen at the moment because he is he's got a back start due to the number of penalties received. So he's not permitted to qualify in this race, but he will of course be allowed to race. Some may say it's actually an advantage starting at the back here. I beg to differ actually in this instance. I find it much more easygoing if you're at the front at the start.
Now, yes, Adrian, thank you very much for that. Appreciate that.
No problem. I wasn't quite sure what was going on there.
Does tend to throw you somewhat, does it? Okay, we are in this Q1 session. We actually have 16 drivers. Just going to try and run. Oh, we've got Yul Tyson, who's running late. And we've got Sil de Witt, who will be doing a back start. So he's come out. So it looks like Yul Tyson is the man that isn't there. Just trying to see.
One more. Is it Jamie Collane?
It could well be, actually. I can't see Jamie Collane. Yeah. So both the Mercedes there are running late. We hope Yul Tyson will be in, and obviously Jamie Collane as well, as we watch Nishay coming into that wonderful pit entry here at Spa. It's pretty horrible, isn't it? As pit entries go, it's not a nice one.
Oh my god, it's particularly if you've got a damaged wing as well, and you're under race conditions, and you're panicking as you come in. You know, there's such a tendency to just bounce off of that wall or miss the braking spot for the pit limiter. You know, if you're going too fast, you get a 5 second time penalty. Yeah, it's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, it's not much fun. We're running on board at the moment with Davey Hartman, second in the Drivers' Championship, Season 5 winner in that Toro Rosso. He set a provisional opening lap, a 1:45.3. Paul Correa set a 1:45.2 in the Haas, and Boy Williamson in the Red Bull was set a 1:45.0. Hans van der Berg, Davey's teammate, he's just done the fastest lap so far in this queue, 1:44.8. We just caught him crossing the line there. See, Pitts out, Davey Hartman's out. Zander Hermans, he's on an out lap. Then we've got Harry. All right, Harry. Welcome, Harry.
You're going to keep doing that, aren't you?
I am. You know I am. I can't resist it. For our Dutch viewers in the Netherlands there, I do apologise. It's a bit British. I'm doing a Cockney Harry, because Harry is actually Harry in English. Harry, I can say it, Queen's English. Harry. I say, Harry, how are you?
I'm speechless, Eddie. Speechless. I have missed you, you know that.
So, good old Harry cop that. Harry cop, he's round the corner into turn 12 now. Right, I've got to stop that. Really have got to stop that. John Donkel in the Ferrari coming round now as well. He's out on track. Baz and Brown, he's just coming out of his outlet. Let's roll on board with Baz. So down here into La Source. Nice entry exit down there. He's now coming down to the Radiant turn, which is that corner. Turn 3, 4, 2, 3. Up now, Eau Rouge, a little bit wobbly, but manages to keep it. Now onto that Kemmel straight. He's got the DRS. You just saw the line there as he comes down to Leku. 6, 7, and 8.
Just while that's going on, just let's stay on the action for a moment. But Nicky Pfister has retired from this session, and anybody that's worrying about him retiring in P14, it's not a problem, because Sil de Witt, he's not going to set a time and the top 15 go through. So I think that's probably more strategic than anything from Nicky. A bit of strategy
there from Nicky. He's our current championship leader. Lovely round hoo-ha there, I've got to say, from Baz. Down now into these 12, 13 campus turns down into Stavlot. Now this is the turn. Watching them hit that apex and look at the launch out of there. If you get it right, going close right, and then you're just laying down the pound all the way. But you've got to get that line right, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It was that wall on the left that we just saw him pass there. That was the one that John hit. But yes, you have to get it absolutely 100% right, and just be confident that the car is going to hold its line.
Yeah. Now down into the final chicane, round 18 into 19 now. Get the wheels straight, lay down that power. Bolt for that line, a 1:44.7. What a beautiful opening lap there from Baz then Brown. Well, I haven't had a look at the tyres actually, so let's have a look what they've actually got fitted. So yeah, they are all on the softs. Interestingly enough, nobody trying out a different set of tyres, so all the drivers on the softs.
Yeah, you could say that, the drivers are automatically through this session, so they may want to save a set of soft tyres for Q3. I did that in my my race on Tuesday. Only lasted 10 laps anyway, but that's irrelevant. But yeah, no. I mean, what we often find is that if the sort of championship leader is doing something in quali, then you often find that many of the other drivers will just follow suit.
Yeah, absolutely. We're actually following Guido Urschen. That's Baz and Brown's teammate there in the McLaren. Very competent driver. But he has his moments, doesn't he? He has his moments of glory. Australia definitely a favourite track for him. I'm just trying to think.
Canada, won at Canada, didn't he?
Canada. Similar again, obviously, in many ways to the Albert Park track. But those are the sort of tracks that suit him. And this Spa track is the sort of track that would suit Guido's race style, isn't it?
I do hope so. I think a lot of it, not to try and put pressure on him, but I think a lot of it will come down to his start in this race. I think how his first sort of 3 or 4 laps go will probably play a major part in determining his final position. What I often find with Guido is that he either has really great races or absolutely horrible races. It's never sort of in between.
Yeah, it's a bit Marmite, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's into the pits, not happy with that one.
I think that was an in-lap, actually.
Yeah,
that was just an in-lap, yeah.
Peter Phillips, out on track at the moment. Just coming down now to that Brussels turn.
While we're on board with Peter Phillips, actually, his teammate Paul Correa, respect to him. We don't often see him as high as P4. I know this is only Q1, but he's putting in an impressive lap there. He's actually running I think it was P2 at one point, and he's on for he's coming out for another lap now. But yeah, we'll keep riding with Peter.
Yeah, Paul Correa. But we've seen that previously, though, haven't we?
We have, yeah. I mean, he's another one of these drivers with sort of moments of greatness. Oh, poor Peter Phillips nearly into the wall there.
And that was all down to his exit out of Stavlot, coming round Stavlot into that turn 16. Sorry, 15.
He may just be. It looked like he may just be a touch light on his rear downforce, which caused that. Oh, is that invalid? I think that's invalid.
It's invalidated, I think.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's a shame. That lap would have put him, I can tell you, P9, he would have gone with that.
Wow, indeed. So we are seeing, as we say, obviously, we're expecting 18 drivers. We've got 16, but we have got Yul Tyson, I think, has come in, or was that Jamie Collane I saw coming in? I wasn't too sure which one it was there.
I didn't spot it myself. Annoying thing about this circuit, of course, is that if you do invalidate your lap at the end there, you have to then drive 7 kilometres to get back into the pit.
Yeah, not much fun. It is a long track. It's not the longest track though, isn't it?
Distance-wise, it is the second longest. Singapore is actually longer.
Yeah. Really? Well, yeah, I suppose that makes sense, actually.
Or is it time-wise Singapore's longer? It's one or the other.
I'm just thinking of it,
sorry, I'll take that back.
Yeah,
take that back, it's time-wise.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Belgium is longest by distance.
Yeah. Okay, so the drivers, I think they're pretty much sort of happy with what they've got there. They've obviously got their setups going there. But you can't count on the setup in quali, can you? As we discovered this Tuesday for the F1 Tonight UK boys when they were driving or doing the Hungaro ring.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you put too much faith into your qualifying setup and you'll be ruining it, shall we say, in the...
I've got to ask, were you guys aware on Tuesday that it was going to be a wet race, or did just nobody really look?
Yeah, we were. We didn't. We know the rule. We're not allowed to sort of discuss the weather, but there were a few sort of oohs and ahs in the party as people were pressing Y on their controls and their wheels, looking at the conditions there. And we knew it was going to be chucking down.
It was a hairy one though, wasn't it, on Tuesday? For those of you that didn't catch it, the F1 Tonight UK boys raced this Tuesday. The stream is on YouTube. You can watch it. I know it's been viewed quite a number of times by our regular viewers, but for those of you that may be tuning in, haven't watched it or want to catch it, it's certainly one worth watching.
Yeah, so some may not be aware that you're back and that we're back on the air.
I'm not back. This is my front. If it was my back, you'd hear.
I've got to be honest, Eddie. I was wondering which way you were going to go with that. I'm pleasantly relieved, I have to say.
This is family. This is family viewing. Although saying that, I've got to remind the UK drivers on their podium interviews of that.
Oh, I didn't see those. Okay, I'll have to have a look back.
Yeah. There was a faux pas, let's say.
Okay.
But I didn't draw too much attention to it until now, basically.
Everyone's going to be going
on to it, trying to see what he said in the interview post-race. You know it, don't you? You know it. So, Sildavit will be starting at the back of the grid. However, I believe Yul Tyson, or was it Jamie Klein who'd come in? They will actually be starting behind him in 17. But we're going to go through now to that Q2 session. So, Baz, then Brain setting the fastest time there with that 1:44.7. Then we have a 1:44.874 from Hans van der Berg. And then in third we have Boy Williamson with a 1:45.0. So, yeah, interesting. Certainly as they were all on the red-walled tyre, the softest compound.
Yeah, sorry, the reason I sort of in and in there, Nicky Vista is showing him as eliminated from that session. I think that was a crash. I don't think that was retirement in the pit.
Oh dear. That means that he would not be in this Q2 session. We'll soon find out once we see the drivers come up. I haven't got my board come up as yet. No, he is not. So, Nicky Visser did indeed crash out, and he will be provisionally starting in that case in P15.
Yeah, that's going to be tough for the championship leader. It is, it's not massively difficult to overtake here. I mean, I say that I'm not exactly an overtaking master, but it's you have got lots of long straights. You've got the tight hairpin of turn 1. You've got those DRS zones. But yeah, it's not going to be a piece of cake for Nicky.
No, definitely not. Just want to see who's the first man out on track there. I think it was actually Baz. No, it's not Baz then Brian. Who is it?
Damie.
Oh, is it Damie? Oh, right. Okay, let's get down to... Oh, there we go. Yep. So, Damie Hartman, first man out on track in the Toro Rosso. Coming round Eau Rouge, up Radio now. Onto that Kemmel straight. And a number of guys opting for the medium wall tyre. So, Hans van der Berg, Martin Paardenkoper, Abby in... the racing point there. Damie, Baz and Bran, Boy Williamson and Guido Urshan all on the medium compound tyres. Rest of the field on the softs. I've got to say, medium, good call. Nishay as well, looks like in the pits, changing onto the mediums. I've got to say, I think the preferred tyre to start this race is going to be the medium, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I'd have thought so. We may get a few drivers on the opting for the soft tyre, depending on exactly how this session goes, or rather sort of the end of this session. If they're in the danger zone, they may, I wouldn't say go into panic mode, but they may just opt to put the soft tyres on and just to get them through to Q3.
Yeah, I'm just seeing there Nicky Visser left the session, so I don't know if he's got connection problems. He could be having technical issues, and if that is the case, he may well not even be racing. So we'll keep an eye on that one, because obviously he is currently leading the championship, but not by so much, certainly, that he wants to not be in a race.
Yeah. Yeah, what can we say about that? I'm sure it's just a technical glitch. I'm sure he'll be back.
Well, let's see if he can get that resolved. We're on board with second place in the championship at the moment. Season 5, a winner, champion, Damie Hartman. And opening lap now as he comes up all round radial onto that Kemmel straight. Nicely done there. It's going to be interesting to see how much variation there is going to be actually between the mediums and the softs. It will definitely be a noticeable difference. It's going to be interesting to see how much of a difference, though, isn't it?
Yeah, here in Belgium, I think they use it's the C2, C3 and C4 tyres. There's about 8.5 tenths between the medium and the softs.
Got to say, though, it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out.
It's quite unique Belgium in that it is only 44 laps. It's the shortest number of laps of any race because it is the longest circuit, of course. I don't know if you're aware, Eddie, actually the minimum distance for a Formula 1 race is 305 kilometers, and it's the shortest number of laps to reach that distance. That's where they get the number of laps for each track from.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, no, I didn't, but thank you for letting me know that. I would like to say that I'd remember it, but I probably won't.
I'm sure I'll remind you at some point.
I'm sure
probably
you
when
will.
we do Belgium again.
Yeah, probably. In another 6 months' time. Oh, well, no, actually, in about 5 days' time.
Yes, indeed.
But you'll be racing it, and I'll be commentating on it. So Damie sets a 1:45.5. That's not too bad. I mean, 5 tenths off Q1 time from Boy Williamson on those Red Bull tyres of a 1:45.0. He took provisional third in that Q1 session.
Paul Correa, 45.3.
Yeah, Paul Correa, look at that. Lovely run there from Paul Correa. 1:45.3. So I'm sure he's going to be very happy with that. We'll just watch him as he comes through Eau Rouge and up Radion. I think he's going full pelt there. He's just taking it easy. He's in lap. So good run there. Damie Hartman, 1:45.5 as we said. Mark Strappers, 1:46.0. Great run from Mark. I'm sure he's going to be happy with that. Not quite up in the numbers there, but for an opening lap, that's not too bad at all.
No, not too shabby. From the veteran driver.
Yeah, veteran Ferrari driver now. Hans van der Berg in the sister Toro Rosso to Damie there, 1:46.2. Martin Paardenkoper in the Alfa Romeo, 1:48.2. Harry! Sorry, Harry. I hope if you've got fans watching, we're not going to forget Harry in a hurry.
We're not now, no.
Not now. Nishay Mahadwa Singh there in the Renault. And is he starting his opening lap? I think he is.
This seems to be a hot lap. He's in
it's a hot lap, yeah.
Yep.
So let's go on board with Nishay on this hot lap. He's come out. Old Lassour's coming down now into Radion. Up Eau Rouge.
He lifts.
Yeah. Didn't take it full pelt, but then again you can hardly blame him onto the Kemmel straight.
No, I won't. Yeah, that wasn't the criticism, just the observation.
Into Lecum now. Set of 3 corners, 6, 7, 8. Good exit out of 8 there. A little bit wobbly on the dirt. Coming down now to that lovely Brussels turn.
Never-ending corner.
Yeah, it's weird because you've got to go in tight on at the beginning of it, and then more or less as you reach that apex, you start to widen out towards the left to get a good exit down then, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. Not too bad in his first sector. He's only a tenth of a half down on Paul Correa.
Into 12, 13 Campus now, dropping down to 14, into 15 Stavlot. Watch the exit, get it right. That's a good exit. That's a good exit out of there. He's got good speed. A little bit of a wobble on that out there.
Yeah, lost a bit of time on Paul that time. Sorry, in sector 2 is almost a second down.
Wow.
ERS has run out this lap. Or his deployment of ERS has run out. You're only allowed to use so much.
That's a respectable time though, 1:46.2 from Nishay. That's a respectable time, I'd say.
Yeah, very good final sector. Yeah, just needs to try and find some more time in that middle portion.
All right, apologies. I'm just going to have to do something here.
Really impressed with Paul Cray. I know I keep mentioning him, but yeah, like I said, we don't often see him at the top. But this is the first time we've actually seen him race at Belgium, so I do wonder if this is kind of his
thing. Well, I've got to say,
circuit.
Paul Cray, very impressive there, 1:45.3. I don't think it's going to stay that way, I've got to say, but certainly impressive to be leading this Q2 session with that time, no doubt about that.
I have one more stat actually about Paul Cray before we move on. He's the only F1 Tonight Netherlands driver to have gate crashed an F1 Tonight UK race and had to be kicked.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he is. That's right.
It was very bizarre. Yeah, one of the drivers couldn't get in his car, and I couldn't work out why. And then I saw the Dutch flag.
Yeah, Paul Gray was there. That was Australia. That was one of the first races.
It was the race on Tuesday.
Was it?
On Tuesday. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't notice that. But then again, my attention was elsewhere. Oh, right. Okay. So he decided to wanted to do Hungary again.
Yeah, apparently so. Perhaps he thought it was another testing session. He does like his driver tests.
Yeah, he does indeed. So we're on board with Marcel Dronig now. He's currently sitting in P5 in this Q2 session. And I've got to say, the Williams boys, this combination of Marcel Dronig and Sander Hermans, it's working pretty well for them this season.
It's a great team. It's really a great team, to be fair. I think Sanders is I know Marcel Dronig, he's very much a veteran of F1 Tonight. He's been here longer than I have. I think he's actually in it from season. I think he's in it from season 3 actually. Dronig.
Is he? Oh my God! Is it?
I believe so. Yeah, under his sort of OG gamer tag. But I think Sander is pushing Dronig to be better. I think that's what we're seeing here, and we're seeing kind of one driver catch up to the other, and they're now at a point where there is no sort of driver 1 or 2. They're both kind of level pegging, both sort of metaphorically and in the championship.
I've got to say though, it's not unusual. Sorry, I was going to say it's not unusual to see that, is that? Because you do, in the team, you've got the competitiveness obviously against the other 19 drivers, but your real competitor, your real number 1 competitor, is your teammate.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, look at that. Sorry,
I know they're
while
all,
we're watching there, Basden Brain says the provisional fastest, 1:45.1, and that was on the medium tyre. And Dronig into the pits. He's obviously not happy with that. But Basden Brain, what a fantastic run for him. 1:45.1 on that medium compound tyre. That's pretty impressive. I mean, he did set a 1:44.7, so that's only 0.4 off his previous best running the softs in Q1.
Yeah, it's more than pretty good. Yeah, it's very good. I think what we're seeing now as well is that the rubber's being laid down on the track, so it is making the track quicker. Yeah.
Now, just to remind you, or those of you that may be watching, 3 tyre compounds in 2019: the red-walled soft, the yellow-walled medium, and the white-walled hard. We don't expect, I think, to see the hard here today, but who knows? It all depends on what incidents may or may not occur on the opening laps. Also, in this Q2 session, normally Q1 you have 20 drivers. From those 20 you go down to 15 going into Q2, so you lose 5. In Q2 you also lose 5. In this respect, obviously, number 15 is, as we said, Nicky Visser, who clearly had an incident in Q1, so he was out. So 11, 12, 13 and 14 will be dropped for the Q1 session, and those drivers, that will be their places on there. The other thing about this Q2 session is those guys who finish in the top 10 in this queue will be starting the race on the tyre which they set their lap on. So in other words, Baz Den Breyen on that medium tyre set the fastest lap. He'll be looking to start the race if that time stays, or if he doesn't change it or go onto a different set of tyres. He'll be starting on the medium compound tyre for the start of the race. So that's the top 10 drivers, whichever tyre they qualify on is the tyre they start on. He's into the pits now. A number of drivers in the pits. Marcel Dronig is on an outlap. Hans van der Berg also on an outlap. Nishay Mahadwa Singh on an outlap. Then we've got Peter Phillips, he's out there as well. At the moment, Peter Phillips is in that drop zone. He's P11. What do you think that drop time is going to be? At the moment, it's sitting with Zander Hermans on that 146.3. I think that's going to come down, though. I think we're probably going to see sort of 145... 145.8 as the drop.
I would say 46.1. I don't think it'd be as low
as that.
As low as that, no. Which, funny enough, is exactly...
no, you're right, yeah, because there's only a minute left, isn't there? So yeah, there is going to be a whole lot coming out.
We do have, we've got about 6 or 7 drivers out on laps at the moment, or out on track, I should say.
Yeah, clearly those guys on the 145s and low 146s are pretty comfortable because they're all still sitting in the pits. And they wouldn't be able to come out and do anything now anyway.
Yeah, Harry Kopp is about to come across the bus stop chicane, or around the bus stop chicane, to complete his hot lap. Is it going to be enough?
So Ari needs to get better than that 146.3.
It was an improvement.
So, was an improvement, but not quite there. He's got another run at it, but he can replenish his ERS, but he needs it for that Kemmel, so he needs to be careful on this. Let's actually run on board with him, as he is the rookie driver. He has raced the previous race. He raced last week at Germany. The Hockenheim Ring. Unfortunately, we didn't transmit that one. Oh, what am I saying? At the Hungaro Ring was his last race. Yeah, sorry, Hungaro Ring. Yeah, that's where he competed. Did pick up a point. So
Harry Kopp did start this lap with 50% ERS, so you could argue that he may have enough to actually set a better lap. He has improved in his first sector. He's still 0.3 off of P10. But it is an improvement.
And Zander Hermans drops down to P11. Peter Phillips jumps in there with a 146.31. Pushes Zander Hermans into that P11 place. Parder Cooper sitting 12th. John Donkel sitting 13th. And looks like he's going to stay there. Yeah, he is. He is out on track at the moment. Oh, and now he's lost it. Oh, he's lost it out of Stavlor. Gets onto the rough, spins the car. Oh, what a great shame there for Harry.
Just shows how much he's trying, doesn't it?
He is. Well done, sir. At least he put effort into it. So he will be starting P14. P13 will be John Donkel. Martin Parder Cooper is out on track at the moment. He's currently sitting P12. Zander Hermans will be starting in 11. So the only man that can do anything at this moment in time is Martin Parder Cooper. How's he looking, Adrian?
He's looking not too shabby. It's an improvement on his own time. It's going to be tight whether it actually is enough for P10.
Well, he needs to beat a 146.313. He needs to take at least 5.5 tenths. Well, 5 point. No, he's in the pits. No, he can't do it. So Martin Parder Cooper will be starting P12. So our 10 through are Peter Phillips, Hans van der Berg, Guido Urschen, Mark Stappers, Marcel Dronig, Damie Hartman, Boy Williamson, Paul Correa, blinding lap there. Nishay Mahadwa Singh, equally blinding lap as well. Second, 145.2, and Baz Den Breyen at 145.1. That's not bad going at all from Baz there. He's qualified Q1 in both Qs.
Yeah, that is really, well, it's a sign of things to come, I feel. Mahadra Singh as well, he just shot up to P2. I think we must have missed that. He was running down in P12 before that last hot lap.
It was, yeah, I mean, obviously putting the blowing out, we were watching some of the other guys on there, but what a fantastic result from him. Nishay Mahadwa Singh, second place, but we know he can put in some excellent qualifying times. He is new, obviously, to F1 Tonight this season, but that said, he has put in some very convincing qualification times. Paul Quaret, though, 145.3, he's up there. He's kicking ass.
He's keeping it up, isn't he? It wasn't a fluke. It was not a fluke, and not that I ever thought it was. But yeah, no, really great stuff from him.
So, as I said, obviously starting in P11, row 6 will be Zander Hermans. Alongside him in P12 will be Martin Parder-Cooper in the Alfa Romeo. Row 7, P13 will be John Donkel in a Ferrari. Alongside him will be Ari Kopp in the Racing Point. And P15 will be Nicky Visser. And alongside him will be... Who will be alongside him? Sil de Witt in the Renault. Yeah. So we are now into the Q1 session. This is the one that counts. So this is the one that will establish the top 10 order on the grid. As expected, all the drivers are on the soft compound tyre. No great surprise there. And Adrian, who's going to take pole?
God, it's been ages since anyone's asked me that question. I'm gonna give it to Baz. We've got to, haven't I? Got to. After those performances in Q1 and Q2, I think Baz is going to take pole.
Okay. I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Nishay.
Yep.
I was going to say Paul, but I've got a sneaking suspicion. Yeah, I'm going to go with Nishay.
I would love to see a Haas win this race. In fact, it's the first time this season both Haas's have made it into Q3.
Wow. Well, there you go. That says something for the guys. They've obviously been putting in the practice. So let's see how the Haas boys perform. Paul Quaret and his teammate Peter Phillips, they're in the top 10. First time this season, as Adrian has kindly pointed out. Oh my God, what happened there?
Yeah.
Oh, bear with me 1 second. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. I don't know what on earth happened there. Very bizarre. Somehow I activated my Discord.
Yeah.
But it came up with a very peculiar screen, which I haven't seen before, which is why it threw me. Okay, so Damie Hartman on his outlap now. And that looks to me very much like Boy Williamson lurking in the background there behind Damie, doesn't it? As he's coming round Pouhon.
Just a bit.
Now, obviously, real fight going on at the moment for the Constructors' Championship and indeed in the Drivers' Championship between Red Bull and their sister team of Toro Rosso, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is I wouldn't say a fight to the death, but you know, it's heating up nicely.
Definitely.
The Red Bull and the other Red Bull, Toro Rosso.
No, you shouldn't say that. They are a different team, different engine.
Are they?
Are they really? Honestly? Well, yes, they are.
Yeah, I suppose they are. Okay.
Now it's Damie. Yeah, Damie's letting Boy Williamson through. Now that's interesting. He's basically sort of giving up on his lap to let Boy Williamson through. Now that's an interesting thing to do there. Why has he done that, I wonder?
Probably freeing up some space so that he hasn't got Damie right up his backside when he starts his hot lap.
Oh, I see, yeah, because he could effectively get a tow, couldn't he, really?
Mm.
But that said, he's also let the Williams through, and I think that's Marcel... Yeah, well, it must be. It's the only one there, Marcel Dronig. Doesn't want to do that with all the field, otherwise he'll find himself at the back. So, yeah, Boy is clearly pushing, undoubtedly, there.
Yeah, Boy's fastest in the first sector.
Yeah,
he's the first one to cross the line in the
pushing.
second sector.
You can see he's really pushing that car at this moment in time. He's in that third and final sector now. Coming round turn 17. Oh, no.
Vanderberg is close to him as well, though, time-wise. Very close.
So, Boy Williamson coming through the chicane now. onto the start-finish straight. What's he going to deliver? This is going to be a good time here. 1:44.6. Goodness me, that is a fantastic run.
I think it's going to be the same time.
1:45.9. Hans van der Berg, 1:44.8. Wow. Now that is really going some bad. Then Brian, 1:44.5. Takes that provisional pole. Nishay Mahadwa Singh we're on board with now. He's just coming round into that third, well, he is in that third and final sector, just coming round, turn 17 now. What can this Renault driver deliver? He's not there. He's not there, is he? He's out of it at this moment in time. Yeah, that's going to be a 1:48, 1:49, 1:50. It's invalidated. It's going to have to go again. Damie Hartman is out on track at the moment in sector 2.
Yeah, Hartman's on a valid lap. It's not a particularly fast lap. Oh no, I think this is a.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know what this is.
He was coming round Lecombe. I thought he was further on. He's just coming around Brussels now, getting himself ready to come down into Pouhon.
It's strange. This is a timed lap from Damie, so effectively a hot lap, but he's not pushing at all. He's in mode 0, so I think he's using this as a second out lap.
Is he having some sort of issues, I wonder? Let's have a quick look at these tyres. He has gone on to a fresh set, as have all the other drivers as well, so he obviously came into the pits from what we saw him on that opening lap, so this is probably, well, it's not an out lap.
It's kind of like a second out lap, a warm-up lap.
Peter Phillips is on his out lap. Roy Williamson in the pits. Hans van der Berg, Paul Correa, Mark Stappers, Guido Urshan, all still out on track. I suspect they're on their in laps.
Mahadra Singh third fastest in the first sector, third fastest in the second sector.
Wow. Well, he's in that third sector now. We get on board with him as he's coming round turn 17. Only 2 more corners to go. That final chicane, the bus stop. Don't see many buses there, though, to be fair. So it must be a useless service. Oh, and he does a 1:45.2. Lovely run from Nishay. Well done, sir. I'm sure he can better that, though.
Yeah, I'm sure he can. Did lose a little bit of time in the final sector. Yeah, lost something like 3/10 in the final sector.
Damie Hartman
on the other drivers.
We're on board with now. He's going through Lecombe, but I've got to say, it's
invalid.
He's looking messy through Lecombe. Didn't look good.
This lap is invalid.
And what's happening here? He's just not able to get it together. What's happened?
I'm not sure.
I wonder if he's had any sort of technical issues, because that outlap was a bit peculiar when he let both Boy Williamson and Marcel Droney past him, and he just doesn't seem to. He seems to be fearing laying down that power at this moment in time. I don't quite understand why. What's going on there?
Do you think he might have his pet cat on his head or on his steering wheel or something?
It could be that the cats are attacking again. Davey does have an unfortunate situation in his domestic, in that he's got clearly a feline that is not F1 friendly.
Lots of Fs there. I'm sure there's plenty coming from him as well. Yeah, he's racing to get back into the pit now, so he can put a new set of soft tyres on and get back out there. Such a long lap.
It is. But he needs to get his skates on. He's got 3 minutes 45. Yeah, he needs to get a push on that. Peter Phillips is coming around now. Looks like he's just out of Stavlot. Coming round turn 16.
Paul Gray, by the way. Sorry, Paul Gray, P2. Have we noticed
look at that. 1:44.6. I missed that. No.
Actually fastest in the middle sector.
I should have gone with Paul, really. I was flipping between Nishay and Paul, but I went with Nishay. But Peter Phillips comes across the line, and this is a respectable time as well. Look at this. 1:46.1. That's a respectable time, certainly.
Yeah, certainly. Unfortunately, he's with a bunch of even faster drivers, which puts him in P9.
Mark Stapper's coming out on track now. Guido Urshan on his outlap. Hans van der Berg on his outlap. Den Brain in the pits. Now, 1:44.5. Is that a safe time for that P1? I don't think it is. He's coming back out again. He's clearly not happy with that. He's going to have to come out and defend, I think, because this could still be very, very tight. Damie Hartman has not come out of the pits. He's coming out now. So Damie's coming out now onto the track. So he'll be effectively the last man to set a time, I suspect, on this Q3 session. This is F1 Tonight, Netherlands. We are back and we are here at Spa Francorchamps for Season 6, Round 13 for the Belgian Grand Prix. And expect the unexpected on this one. Yul Tyson has joined the session, so he will be joining the race at the back of the grid, but we'll run through those in a few minutes. So this is going to be a tough race. Only 44 laps, but 44 of the most hard racing laps you will probably ever have. And I've got to say, as a obviously you've got to concentrate on all tracks, obviously, but from a concentration level, this has got to be right up there. Equal, I would say, to a track that you mentioned earlier, Singapore.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think concentration is a problem that Boy Williamson's having at the moment. He went purple in the first sector, only by a blink of an eye, mind. But then around Puong, he went a bit wide. It wasn't invalidated, but it did lose him some time. So he put it back into mode 0, and he's about to go again. 1 minute left.
Well, Damie Hartman is now coming around turn 17. We'll follow him on his fast lap. Let's see what Damie can deliver as he comes round turn 19 onto the start-finish straight.
His teammate Hans van der Berg, he's on a super hot lap at the moment. Purple in the middle sector. He's only half a tenth down in the first sector. This is going to challenge Baz.
Wow. Well, we'll see what happens on there. I'm going to stay with Damie. Tells me it's going to be worth it. Hans van der Berg gets into second, 1:44.566. Oh my goodness me, that's what, 1.5 thousandths off Baz de Bruijn?
1.5 hundredths. Yeah,
1.5 hundredths, yeah.
That is
tenths, hundredths, thousands, yeah.
That's longer than it does take to actually blink your eyes.
Oh my goodness me.
Blinking,
you'd miss it.
Sorry, we've got a few drivers on hot laps now. Damie Hartman, he is not fastest, but he is fast in the first sector. Boy Williamson is fastest in the first sector, just coming round to complete the second sector. What's that time like? Oh, it's the third fastest time, but it is only within less than a tenth. Wow. Again, it's going to challenge Baz, as is Damie.
Well, Damie now out of Stavlot into this third and final sector now. We are riding on board with him. This is cockpit view to give you an idea of what these guys more or less can see. Not quite, it's just above the cockpit, but it gives you a good idea. Boy Williamson sets at 1:44.2. Takes that pole from Baz de Bruijn, who's already crossed the line. Too late for him to do anything. Can Damie Hartman? Baz has got it. He's got 1:44.1. Oh, and Damie's going to do it. He's got a 1:44.9. He's going to be in that row 3 P5. But Baz de Bruijn, what a fantastic run there. He knew that he was under challenge, but he pushed it all the way. Boy Williamson did provisionally take it from him, but Baz crossed the line a few seconds afterwards, took it from him with a 1:44.166. Wow.
Incredible.
That is amazing.
Baz second fastest in the first sector, fastest in the middle, and second fastest at the end as well. Just snuck in there.
Well, that is impressive, I've got to say. But look at the time difference between those top 3 guys. I mean, that is absolutely unbelievable. It's, I mean, well, Baz de Bruijn, a 1:44.166. Then we've got Boy Williamson, 1:44.227. So what's that? Half a hundredth? And then another half a hundredth. We've got Hans van der Berg, a 1:44.566. Well, sorry. Well,
three tenths,
sorry.
But there's half a tenth between the first two.
Half a tenth between the first two, 3 tenths. my God, that is amazing.
Paul Carey
Absolutely amazing.
Paul Carey can be quite pleased with that P4. I think that's a career best, and he's out-qualified the reigning champion, Damien Hartman.
He has. I think Paul Carey is going to be very happy with that. Let's see if he can obviously deliver it on the race, because we've seen it before. But it's always a sign, isn't it? When you see drivers doing well in the qualification, it's a sign that they're coming through, and then the next step is to get that racing right, isn't it?
That's right. And you often find that those drivers who do well in quali, the following season in that same race, they'll also do well in the race as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes all the difference. So there we have it. Baz and Brown will be in that front row, P1 alongside him, Boy Williamson. Row 2, Hans van der Berg, Paul Carey. Row 3, Davy Hartman, Guido Urschen. Row 4, Nishay Mahadwa Singh, Mark Stappers. And row 5, Marcel Drodig and Peter Phillips. Well, very, very close indeed, certainly in that front row. And it's going to be interesting to see how they pan out. Remember, Baz and Brown will be starting on the medium compound tyre, and I've got a sneaking suspicion, correct me if I'm wrong, but Boy Williamson was on the softs. He never actually went on to the mediums during that Q2 session.
No, I don't think he did, no. So, yeah, he will be on the soft tyre.
Paul Carey, pretty sure, was on the softs as well. So the drivers now getting ready. It's come for that time when we have a guesstimate of who do we think's going to win. Who do you think's going to win, Adrian?
I don't want to jinx him, so I'm not going to say it.
No, it doesn't work that way. Come on.
Shall we go Sil de Wit? Sil de Wit from the back start.
You're going Sil de Wit for the win?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trust me.
That's a little bit left field, but yeah, okay, fair enough. I thought I was the left field man. You throw me now. Well, sod you, I'm going to go for Baz and Brown then.
Yeah, I cannot comment on that.
Well, I'm going to go for Baz and Brown. Look, the commentator's curse does not exist, Adrian. Just take it from me.
It does.
It's just coincidence. It's just coincidence.
It can't be coincidence every time.
Well, it is. So you're going to have to live with that one. Okay, so Baz and Brown will be leading the field there in P1. Alongside him will be Boy... Oh, what am I doing? Wrong way. Boy Williamson. He's in P2. P3 is going to be Hans van der Berg. P4 then is Paul Carey in that Haas. Fantastic run there from Paul Carey.
Oh, I think I've just seen rain. Sorry,
oh, really? Again. Davy Hartman, he's going to be in that P5 position. Row 3. And alongside him is going to be Guido Urschen in that McLaren. So P6, row 3 for Guido Urschen. Row 4, Nishay Mahadwa Singh. He's going to be in that P7 place in that Renault. Alongside him is going to be Mark Stappers in the Ferrari. Row 5 is Marcel Dronig in the Williams. He's in P9. Alongside him is going to be Peter Phillips in the Haas. As we said, both Haas in the top 10 there. Then P11, row 6, we have Zander Hermans in the Rocket Williams. Alongside him is going to be Martin Parder-Cooper in the Alfa Romeo. And yeah, I am seeing a few drops there. It's going to be interesting. Then we've got row 7, P13. That's John Donkel in the Ferrari. Not quite the cue he was looking for. I think he's going to be disappointed to be that far down the back. And next to him, who have we got? We've got Harry. All right, Harry. It's not Harry. I'll put Adri. Have I put that right? I think I've done that wrong.
No, it is Harry. It is Harry.
I've put it wrong. Sorry. I do apologise, Harry, but it was a bit of a last-minute tag. So
that wasn't your fault. That was John's fault, giving you a dodgy name.
Oh right. Okay.
So he did say Adri.
Yeah, he did say. Okay, so that's all right. It's not my fault. Nicky Visser is in, but he's going to be starting in P15. He's still sitting on the grid at this moment in time. Then we've got P16 is Sil de Wit. He's also still sitting on the grid. Then we've got Yul Tyson, who did make it in. He'll be starting in row 9, 17, and then alongside him is going to be Jamie Collane in the Mercedes, sorry, at the back of the grid. Okay, so the drivers are now lining up. They are ready to go. Lights are on, and we are off for the start of this F1 tonight, Season 6, Belgian Grand Prix, as Baz Den Bruijn leads the way. Boy Williams still in second. Paul Quaret is holding that. Oh, contact between the Red Bull and the McLaren there. Paul Quaret stays there. Damie Hartman goes down one. Was he up one? No, he's up one into fourth. Guido Urshon, he's up one into fifth. Hans van der Berg is down 3 to 6. Mark Stapper's up one. Droning up one. Peter Phillips up one. Mishay Mahalo Singh is down 1 to 10. Zander Herman stays where he is, up 5. Already is Yul Tyson to P12. Nicky Visser is already up 2 to P13. Dropping 1 is John Donkel. Martin Parlecoop down 3. Arie Kopp is down 2. And Sil de Wit is down 1. Jamie Collane at the back of the grid.
Tyson very wide there into, I forget the name of the turn, but he just got passed by Nicky. I think that he may even have damage. Yes, he's lost the portion of his wing.
He has lost a proportion of his wing there as they're coming round the Brussels turn now. They're coming down towards Pouhon. And he's definitely got problems there. He's got John Donkel close in behind him. But let's go look at those top guys. So Baz Den Bruijn leads the way at this moment in time. Boy Williamson is already 1.1 seconds behind Baz. Baz has really opened it up, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah. Just in the meantime, though, bit of a collision in the backfield. Sil de Wit and Arie Kopp just came together there. I think Arie was a bit too wide, sort of swung back in, and Arie ended up losing half of his wing.
Oh dear. So Arie will be coming into the pits. I was wrong actually. Boy Williamson was on the medium compound tyre. So he was on the medium as well. It was Paul Quaret that was on the soft, and he's certainly keeping up with these boys at the moment. He's only half a tenth off the back of Boy Williamson. Baz Den Bruijn, obviously fastest opening lap, 154.5. We will see that drop. Guido Urshon up to fourth. Fantastic. Look at that.
Brilliant stuff from P6 as well. Paul Quaret as well ahead of him. I keep mentioning him, but he's
Paul Quaret's holding his
P3.
place. He's holding that P3 position. Hans van der Berg is in fifth, and Damie Hartman in that sixth position still. So Hans van der Berg has moved up. They're all on the mediums. The only one that isn't is Paul Quaret in that top 6. Mark Stappers is in 7. He's got Marcel Dronig at this moment in time breathing down his neck. But yes, there is definitely rain coming down. I don't think we haven't had a race so far this season where we haven't had rain at some point, have we?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to look back at the archives for that one. It feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Now this is going to mix it up. Obviously, conditions are going to get slippery. And Zander Hermans has retired. Zander Hermans is out.
He just come out of the pit. I think he come out on the intermediate tyres.
No, he's showing him as on the red walls.
Oh no, yeah, quite right. Yeah, on the soft tyre.
Yeah, he came out on the soft tyre. So he's come out of the pits. Obviously, he had damage. Came out on the soft, hit some wet, bang into the barrier, and he's out. Oh, he's going to be so disappointed with that Zander, isn't he?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, I was expecting some big things from him here. Maybe get some form back. But no, it's all down to his teammate now, Marcel Dronig, currently running P8.
Yeah, it's not much fun when that happens. It's so frustrating, especially on these opening laps as well.
Yeah, it's the worst feeling. Oh, Guido very sideways there through the final
17,
turn into the bus
Hans
stop.
van der Berg's got past him, moved up to fourth.
I don't know how he held on to the car there.
That was round 17, obviously. Now, this is the problem. These guys are all over the place at the moment. DRS is enabled, bizarrely enough. It's not quite that wet as such, but there is definitely rain coming down.
It's these horrible conditions, and it's between wet and dry, and no tyre is really the correct tyre to use, and you just kind of have to wait for it.
And Paul Quaret's lost it! He's gone into the barrier as he was coming up Radion. He's got damage, his wheels haven't come off, but he's completely, he's lost half his front wing. By the looks of it, he's trying to rejoin.
Yeah, it's so frustrating.
Yeah, he's lost half that front wing. Front left is practically gone. He's only got the one wing left on there effectively. So he's going to have to come in, and what a great shame, because he was doing so well there, but he was under a lot of pressure from, who was that? Hans van der Berg. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Hans van der Berg going sideways as well on the exit of Brussels. These guys, it's definitely slippery out there.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrible, and it must have been frustrating for Paul as well, because where he'd come off the track, he was in such an awkward position. He couldn't safely rejoin the circuit until he'd watched 12 drivers passing. But you know, fair play to him for not risking it, and you know, and he stuck by the rules and put the safety of the other drivers first.
Well, that's what it's about as well.
In the meantime, Eddie, Jules Tyson is the first driver to come out on the intermediate tyres. He's currently running P17,
yeah, I can
last
see
position.
That. Actually on board with Davey Hart at the moment, following closely. And these guys are going to have to come in now, because these conditions definitely now are intermediate conditions, and this could give Yule a fantastic opportunity. He could get right up into that top 10.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, he had nothing to lose at that point, because he had that he had that damage, so he was going to come in anyway. Well, he's sliding around.
Guido Urschen in, Davey Hartmann in, Nicky Visser in. Yeah, everybody's coming into the pits at this moment in time.
I don't think it will be wet enough for about another lap.
I don't know. I think he will get it. I think he's going to have the advantage. Power sliding round 15, 16 there.
He's just struggling so much.
He is, but then so will all the others.
Strappers, Phillips, Parker all stayed out on the soft tyres. We'll compare their laps to Yule Tyson's next lap.
Well, Yule Tyson just coming in to the bus stop chicane now. Now this is his opportunity. Obviously there are guys out on track ahead of him now, but this could be an opportunity for him. He's immediately jumping up to 14 there with the guys that are in the pits. He's got Nicky Visser just about 3 seconds ahead of him. I think he had to make that shout. I mean, it has worked, whichever way you look at it. It has worked for him. Not as well as you would have liked, but it has worked.
Yeah, possibly. Well, yes, I think it's worked. It has worked more now than it perhaps would have if he'd come in a lap later.
Yeah,
I think it's just
definitely
unfortunate where he sort of was on the track when the rain started coming. He could have done with being sort of either half a lap ahead of where he was or half a lap behind.
Yeah. We should go on board here with Martin Pardercooper, who's behind these three guys, all still on the soft compound tyres. Peter Phillips, going a little bit wobbly there. They come down towards the Savlot turns.
Yeah, the Inters do look quicker now. Yule Tyson, that first sector, 33.8. The guys at the front here on the soft tyres, 34.5.
Yeah, these guys undoubtedly will be coming into the pits. No doubt about it.
And look, you can see Baz as well behind them. Pardercooper spun.
He has! Oh my goodness me! Right across. Oh, contact there, and that's with Hans van der Berg. He's taken out van der Berg. Oh my goodness me! You can see van der Berg there on the right-hand side. That was nothing that Pardercooper could do there. He was a complete passenger, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't really see. I saw him spin initially. I don't know where he sort of regained control of the car.
Yeah. Oh,
that's what the stewards will look at.
That's taken out Hans van der Berg. Well, I think he was just trying to sort of. Well, what could he do? He was sitting on the track. He knew drivers were coming round. It's a horrible, horrible situation to be in. Oh, dearie me. But Hans van der Berg wiped out there. You saw him on the right-hand side, just ahead of Martin Pardercooper, straight into the barrier. He only just clipped him, but it was enough at that speed to send him straight into the barrier.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, sorry, Jamie Killane's just gone flying off at Eau Rouge. Sorry, I was just about to say, Nicky Visser just passed Peter Phillips and Jamie Killane kind of at the same time.
Yeah, yellow's coming up. And, you can see him there on the right-hand side. Jamie Killane has gone out at the top of the Eau Rouge. Oh dear, what a great shame that is, but it's not, well, you know, we're seeing these guys dropping at this moment in time, but, you know, it's not necessarily unexpected. We know that this track does take its victims, and, you know, let's be fair, with these conditions, and it's horrible conditions as well, you know, if you're starting wet, you know where you are. But if you're in dry and then you go to this wet, and it wasn't really coming down heavily, it was quite light rain, and it's just not fun, is it?
No, my God, it's absolutely horrible. But look at the McLarens though, 1 and 3 at the moment.
Yeah, fantastic run from them, gotta say. They are really showing some great form here, as you say. Baz and Brian leading the way, and look at that gap, 5.1 seconds ahead of Boy Williamson. Boy Williamson is about 4.7 seconds, behind. Guido Ehrschein is 6.2 seconds there behind him, so very close. But Damie Hartman is closing in on the back at this moment in time. Yes, he is. Damie Hartman is closing in on the back of Guido Ehrschein by the looks of it. I think we've lost Adrian, actually. Yeah, we have. So let me try and see if I can get him back. Yeah, we seem to have a poor network connection. Don't know what that's about. I'll try and give him a call back. Okay, so I believe we do have Adrian back. Okay, so you can't hear him at this moment. He is there. Unfortunately, Adrian has experienced a technical issue and his internet has crashed. So I shouldn't be laughing, it's not funny. He is actually on the phone at this moment in time, so I'll keep him muted because he sounds horrible. Sounds very tinny. You sound very tinny, Adrian. So we are on board with Baz and Brad. This is lap 6. And that gap that Boy Williamson is closing down now, it's 2.8 seconds off the back of Baz Den Brian. Damie Hartman has gone up to P3. He's got past Guido Ehrschein. Clearly, Guido had some sort of issue there that we missed, unfortunately, while I was trying to get Adrian back. Damie Hartman's got ahead of him, and he's only 2.5 seconds ahead, so I think Ehrschein must have come off the track at some point. Ehrschein is now down in 4th place, but still not to be sniffed at. Marcel Drodig in the Rocket Williams is in P5, 2.1 seconds off the back of Ehrschein. Nicky Visser has got up to P6. He is ahead of John Donkel. John Donkel's got up to P7. Visser's in P6. Donkel, well, he's 1.2 seconds off the back of Visser, so Visser charging through the field. Let's not forget, started in that P15 position at the back of the grid after suffering that technical issue that he had, wasn't able to complete his qualification. Peter Phillips is in P8, so he's going to be happy with that, up to P8. Sil DeWitt is now up to P9 in the Renault. Nishay Mahendra Singh, his teammate, is in P10. Paul Correa is in P11. So he's lost a place there. Peter Phillips, as we know, Paul Correa's lost quite a number of places there because he did start at P3. Had that contact, as we know, had to come in. But he's fighting his way through in P11. Strappers is currently in 12, coming into the pits. Now that's interesting, as is Martin Parder-Cooper. And I don't know if they've got damage on there. Just stay on board with them. Oh, and Yul Tyson's gone out. Yul Tyson has crashed, and I think that was in sector 3. Going on to a fresh set of intermediates, new nose for Strappers. Parder-Cooper as well, coming into the pits. Yep, new nose as well. So fresh set of inters, new nose. But Yul Tyson has gone out. Oh, dearie me. And we already have 5 drivers DNFing. That's Yul Tyson, Jamie Collane, Hans van der Berg, Arie Kopp, and Zander Hermans. 13 drivers remaining. We're on lap 7 of 44. And does look like Adrian is back. So I'm going to have to, I guess, get you off your phone and get you on your Xbox, Adrian, aren't I? You can't hear me. he's disconnected. So I'll get him back in a few seconds' time. So Martin Paardenkoper is 13 drivers now remaining, and we still have 36 laps to go. So it's still quite a distance. Boy Williamson is now leading this race, whereas the Brain is in second place. So Boy has got past him. Again, apologies for missing the action there. Obviously, having looked through the field, can't always be catching up, but all it takes is one mistake from the driver. So clearly, Den Brain must have gone slightly off track, allowing Boy Williamson to get past him. And this is the sort of thing that we can expect during this race. Unexpected offsides, effectively. So I think Adrian is now back. I was just saying, Adrian, Boy Williamson's got past Baz Den Brain, so he's now in that first place position. I'm sure you can see that now. No, nothing. Okay. Oh, he is there.
Sorry, that was stupid.
You were muted, never mind. Yeah, Boy Williamson's got past Den Brain. Clearly, Den Brain must have gone slightly off track, and this is what I was saying. We missed that overtake, but then again, in these conditions, all it takes is a drive just to go off track, and that's position gone, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It looks like I've missed quite a lot of action. Jamie Collane, no, sorry, not Jamie Collane, Yul Tyson as well dropped out. Yeah,
Yul Tyson, I think, went out in the third sector. I'm not too sure. Didn't catch that because that was the Stappers and Paardenkoper who were coming into the pits. He was behind them, so not exactly sure. It might be in the WhatsApp chat. I don't know if you want to have a look at that, whether there's some guys in there. Well, I'll keep an eye on this. So let's run through our runners and riders as they are at this moment in time. So Boy Williamson is leading this race at this moment in time, and he is followed by Baz Den Brain in the McLaren. He's 3.2 seconds now off the back of him, so clearly Boy is really opening up the valves. Then in P3 we've got Demi Hartmann in that Toro Rosso. He's recovered, got back up to P3. He got past Guido Urshan after Urshan made a mistake on track, so he's in that P3 place. Urshan, as I was just referring to, he's in P4, and something picking up penalty there. Didn't quite catch who that was. In P5 we have Marcel Dronig in the Rocket Williams. Nicky Visser, though, what a fantastic run Nicky is doing, I've got to say, very impressive. Lap 9, he's already up to P6. And he has been there for a few laps, and he's trying to sort of get his way through now. That's going to be the challenge for the rest of that race. John Donkel, though, he's going to be happy, or certainly happier at this moment in time. He's up to P7. Remember, he did start, if memory serves correctly, P13. So he's done pretty well there, although obviously we have had those retirements as well that we need to take into account. Peter Phillips, well, Peter Phillips in the Haas there, he's up to P8. Remember, he started in P10. So I'm sure he's going to be quietly happy with that one. Then we have Sil de Wit, and Sil, well, he's up to P9.
He just had a bit of a wobbly, just as you mentioned his name in the
it's not the commentator's curse. Don't start that one, Adrian.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
I think it is.
Do you believe in the commentator's curse? Yes, I do, says Adrian. Hands up. Yeah, I think it's just going a bit wobbly, isn't he? I mean, you know, these conditions are not fun. Let's be fair. Then we've got his teammate Nishay Mahadwa Singh. He's just behind him in that P10 place. Paul Carey is fighting back. He is in P11 at this moment in time, but I'm sure he's got the bit between his teeth, and he's not going to be wanting to finish in that place. Then we have Mark Stappers in the Ferrari. He's in P12. And then in P13 we have Martin Paardenkoper in the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, Paardenkoper's actually on the wet tyres.
Yes, he is.
Which is interesting. He's about 9 seconds slower than anyone else on those tyres.
Well, he's not racing, I'd say. He's taking it fairly gingerly. Maybe he's expecting it to get wetter and he's going to sort of get an advantage there, but he's 27.2 seconds behind Stappers, so all he's going to do is just get a little bit closer to him. He's not really gaining anything, I think, by going on to those wets.
No. I suppose he had to try something, you could say, you know, if it does work, then it works really well. And if it doesn't, he's no worse off than what he was before he came in. So, you know, fair play to the drivers for trying things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. But these conditions are definitely looking to me as if they're pushing towards wets. I don't know what your thoughts are, but when you go on that onboard,
yeah,
there is a racing line, but it's not a clearly defined racing line, and that water is coming down somewhat heavy.
Yeah, visibility as well is really poor, particularly through Puchon, through the middle of sector 2. Yeah, you can see why the drivers might be considering wet tyres, because it is absolutely chucking it down around the sort of back end of the track. Oh, John Donkel spun. John Donkel's off the track.
Yeah, he has.
Oh, so is Mahendra Singh.
Yeah, and that was on the exit of Brussels, Mahendra Singh.
Yeah, John... was there a coming together with Paul Carey? I'm not too sure.
Don't think so. May have been some contact, maybe, as they were coming around Puchon, I don't know. But John Donkel certainly lost it on the exit of Puchon, I think, coming down towards turn 10. Nicky Visser's in the pit. He's going on to the wets, I'm sure. Let's have a look. Stay on board. So. I suspect he will.
Yeah, he wouldn't do 6 laps on the inters and not come into wets.
Yeah, he's going on to the blue wall wets. I mentioned the tyre colours, obviously intermediates, as you can see there, for those of you unfamiliar, are green, and the wets are blue. It's rather a good colour choice for wet, isn't it? Blue.
Certainly is.
So we'll see another round of pits as these guys are coming in now. John Donkel is fighting for position with Nicky Visser, so it's important he gets ahead of him. He has done so, but I don't know how long for, because Donkel's on those intermediates still, and Visser is on those full wets, and I've got to say, I think advantage is full wets, surely, because when they start going through these corners, they're on the straight, but when they start going through these corners here, through Lecum, etc.
Oh, Mahendra Singh spun again, just at the pit exit, it looks like.
Yeah, pit exit that was, yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say about Visser though. Yeah, he was looking quite tentative, as you'd expect, I suppose, in the rain through Eau Rouge. But yeah, I think as the race progresses, perhaps even at the end of this lap, I think we will see the shift change to the wet tyres.
Yeah, definitely, because it is definitely wet tyre territory out there. There's no two ways about it. I mean, look at that rain; it is absolutely chucking it down. We are on board with Nicky Visser at this moment in time. John Donkel, as you can see, just ahead of him there. And I'm staying on board because I just want to see how he's going to close down on him. And I think it's really going to be at the end of this. And we're probably going to see Nicky try and get that little bit closer. It's all down to grip. But I suspect that Visser's... Actually, no, John Donkel's going to come in. He's not going to stay out on those intermediates.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I expect most of the drivers to come in very soon for the wet tyres. Nicky Visser's lap sector times, actually, what are they like? 58.9 in the middle sector. The drivers at the front are doing 57.0 on inters.
Yeah. John Donkel stays out. Okay, now I know John does like wet conditions, but I've got to question him staying out. I mean, he is ahead of Visser, but he's just, well, it looks like he was making a bit of contact there with the Alfa Romeo of Parda Cooper, I think that is.
No, that was Parda Cooper letting him pass. I think it was being lapped, and he just sort of went off track to let him pass. Oh, has Guido got past Dronig? Guido's got past his former teammate, Marcel Dronig, for P4.
Yeah, he has. So Guido up into P4 once again, getting past Marcel Dronig there, but I want to see Visser on Donkel, but Donkel's pretty much handling it not too bad, actually.
Yeah, he seems comfortable. Sildervit just right behind Pete Phillips there for P6.
He's got Parda Cooper now between him and Donkel. That isn't ideal. So not really what he's looking at. De Witt, yeah, P7. Peter Phillips, P6. I mean, he's going to be really happy with that. Up 4 places, started in 10. His teammate you know, not so much so. He's up to P10 now. It's almost like they've done a role reversal there in the Haas.
Yeah, I mean, Phillips was in P2 at one point when everybody came in for the intermediate tyres.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Williamson's in the pit now, so he's leading the race. Done 8 laps on these inters. Surely coming in for the wets.
Well, is he going to go for an undercut on Dembrain, or is Dembrain going to be coming in? No, Dembrain is coming in as well. So
yeah, that might be
going on to those.
That could just be a reaction. See, Damien Hartman's staying out. I think it's right to perhaps stay out. Judging by the lap times, the intermediates seem faster. I think Voy's come in on the advice of his teammate, perhaps.
Yeah, could well be the case. Could well be the case. Well, Damien Hartman now has assumed this first place, but I've got to say, I mean, the only problem with the Inters would be my concern, is that Radion Eau Rouge, because I think they basically got to back off on the Inters when they're coming up there. If you're on the wets, you've probably got a little bit more traction, but that's the one that would worry me more than anything.
Yeah, I still wouldn't be flooring it in the on the wet tyre either.
No, obviously, no. But yeah, let's see what happens. Damien Hartman, we are on lap 13 of 44. This is F1 tonight, Netherlands, and we are here as season 6. Season 6, would you believe it? And this is round 13 here at Spa Francorchamps. We started in dry conditions, but very rapidly it started to turn wet, although it was progressive. It was a slow progress, and now we have thunder and lightning, I think, probably over this track with the way this rain is coming down. Drivers are going from intermediates to wets, but at this moment in time, doesn't seem as if there's a time win with going on to the wets from what Adrian's looking at. So is that going to change? Is it going to stay? I mean, what do you think?
I think it will eventually. It will eventually be wet enough so that the wet tyre is just faster overall than the Inters. It's really strange. The drivers that are on the intermediate tyres, some of them are doing really well with their lap times, and some of them are struggling to keep it on the track.
Oh, yeah, Damien Hartman is coming in. Now, this is the critical one. Boy Williamson's coming round, so he'll reassume that first place. The person he's racing against here is Dembrain, but I don't think he's going to be able to come out ahead of Dembrain. I don't know. Dembrain just coming round 19 now, and Hartman's not even in his pit yet. So Dembrain, yeah, he's in his pit now. Dembrain coming past. He will take that P2 place. Sil de Wit is now in 4th place. What's happened to Guido? Guido's dropped right down. Oh, he's coming. That's why he's coming.
Came in at the end of the last lap. Yeah, virtual safety car ready.
Oh, VSC. Yeah, VSC.
That was for John Donkel, who spun off again on those intermediate tyres just around the end of sector 2, I believe it was.
Okay, now this under VSC, can you run us through the rules for VSC? Because obviously it's a virtual safety car.
Sorry, John spun again.
Yeah,
under
he has.
VSC conditions. But yeah, sorry, you introduced me to the VSC
that was
rule.
Coming up to turn 17. That was turn 17, I think, by the looks of it.
Yeah, he spun there already in this race as well, at the same corner. But yes, the virtual safety car rule is it's not like a physical safety car in that everybody bunches up. The idea of the virtual safety car is that everybody remains the same distance between each other as they were before the safety car came out.
Is that relative to their speed, or is that just based on their previous laps?
No, that's relative to their distance between each other in time. So if they were 3 seconds, if you had a driver 3 seconds ahead of you and another driver 2 seconds behind you before the virtual safety car, everyone will be doing slower laps. But by the end of the virtual safety car, in theory, they should still be 3 seconds ahead of you and 2 seconds behind.
Right. Okay. Can I say I hate VSC?
I don't like it very much either.
I hate VSC because it's so difficult to work out where you are and what you should do.
Yeah, I mean the drivers do have a what they call a delta that they have to adhere to, so they're told to slow down a certain amount, not speed-wise but time-wise. They have to get their lap times sort of over a certain figure. So if they're going too fast, then Jeff will be on the intercom with them and tell them that you need to slow down.
Yeah,
Or did you,
it's just,
get a penalty?
for me, safety car, I don't like VSC. Get a safety car out there. And also, the thing I like about the safety car is it gives you an opportunity to close down a gap and it brings the field back in.
Yes.
So, to me, VSC, in all sincerity, I can't see the point in it.
Mm-hmm.
I really can't. I appreciate the VSC is quicker to deactivate, obviously, as it has already been so, than a safety car. Safety car would be out for a minimum of 3 laps, effectively.
Yeah.
But, that's the only advantage it gives. But then again, the disadvantage that it gives in sort of trying to keep your sector times and all the rest of it, to me, the safety car is all about changing the pace of the race. And, a physical safety car does exactly that. It sort of injects a second sort of life. It's almost like an adrenaline injection, really.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Damien Hartman is battling with Basden Briand for P2. I thought he was about to make the overtake just at the end of the... what's that straight called? Kemmel straight, thank you.
It's the only straight on here, I think, so that's why. So, Kemmel straight, and then Brang, he's going really twitchy, isn't he, in these wet conditions? And Bang's really right on his gearbox now. Look at this, we're on a cockpit view, and you cannot see, not an awful lot. Let's see if we can go to the exterior cam. The exterior cam, there we've got a nice overhead as they're coming around 16, and you can see the spray coming off those cars. I mean, that track is very, very wet. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
If you had a bar of soap, you could quite easily stand out there and have a decent shower.
No, quite right. And it is definitely wet conditions now. The times are really coming down for the wet drivers and really going up for the only intermediate tyred driver at the moment.
Sil de Wit. But Sil de Wit, look at this. I mean, you kept very quiet about Sil de Wit. You picked Sil as your race winner here. You were quietly confident there with this Renault driver, and he's up to P4, but he's staying out on those intermediates. I mean, what do you think?
What I think of that, I think he's possibly pushing it a bit too much now. I think it was actually gaining him quite a lot of time the last sort of 3 or 4 laps ago. But since then, his times have dropped off. He's doing his last lap there was a 2:09.5. Race leader Roy Williamson doing a 2:05.0 on that last lap, so he's lost 4.5 seconds on him.
Yeah, now the problem that he's got here is if he comes into these pits, he's going to end up coming out P9?
Yeah, P9 it'll be.
So he doesn't really want to come in, but at the same time, he's not doing himself any favours. I mean, he is keeping it sort of fairly equidistant, though, to Nicky Visser. He's still round about the 7 seconds off the back of him, so he's maintaining a pace, let us say. But, it's a tough one, that, isn't it? I mean, these conditions don't look as if they're going to dry up, so I don't think he's really going to be left with much choice, ultimately.
No, well, no. I mean, Visser is actually gaining quite rapidly on him. Actually,
he is now, yeah, definitely.
Gained 3 seconds on him on that last lap.
Yeah, he's going to have to come in, isn't he, Sil? I don't think he's got much choice, but as I say, it's going to drop him down into that P9 place, I'm pretty sure. He might scrape a P8, but I think that's going to be very close. No, I don't think he will, actually, looking at it. 8, 16, no, he won't. It will be P9. Well, last man out there on those inters, coming round. Well, it's come round 17 down to the bus stop chicane now. Pretty sure he's going to be coming into the pits, but no, he is staying out. I don't want to stay with him. He's staying out. You've got to give him 10 out of 10 for bravery, but I mean, what's he going to do? I guess if he can stay out there, but he's just losing too much time. I mean, Visser's now, 4.8 seconds. He's taken 2 seconds out of him on the previous lap, 3 seconds on the lap prior to that.
Basden just went off track at Eau Rouge.
Eau Rouge,
to the
right left.
No damage, didn't really sort of lose control. He just kind of sort of drifted off. But yeah, he's lost the position now to Damien. Yeah, he's been putting him under pressure for a number of laps now. And meanwhile, Boy Williamson is really flying compared to the other drivers. He's about 1.8 seconds faster than anybody else out there, except for his teammate. His teammate's doing 2:05.5. He did a 2:05.3. So I think perhaps the Red Bulls are both set up for this heavy rain.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that does explain why they weren't struggling, but they didn't seem to have quite the form you'd expect for them at the start of this race, did they?
No, they didn't. But yeah, now the heavens have opened. They're really sort of excelling themselves now.
Of course, that would suggest to me they got heavy downforce, which would help them, I guess, you know, even under dry conditions, certainly in that second sector, well, the end of the second sector.
Yep, quite right. Well, we've got another Renault spinning around. That's at the bus stop, final corner. That's Mahadra.
Yeah, this shape. Coming over the line now.
John Donkel now back up into the points.
He is back into P10. Paul Correa is P9, so he's happy. He's back up there now. Peter Phillips, his teammate, is actually ahead of him in P8. Guido Urshan, well, he's maintained that 7th place when he came into pit, came out. Hasn't been able to get that back, but he's going to have to try and make a move again on his former teammate Marcel Drane. Probably going to take him a few laps to get up there. Nicky Visser is in P5. Sil de Wit still on those intermediates, still staying out for lap 19.
I think we'd have to start calling him Still de Wit. Or Still Wet.
Still wet, yeah. Still the wet. Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, that was terrible.
It's no more shocking than what I would do, Adrian, I can tell you that now.
I think it's rubbing off on me.
Yeah, it must be.
I've done so many races with you.
Yeah. Still the bit. I just wish Harry was still in there. Harry!
Yeah, so do I.
All right, Harry.
So do I.
Yeah, shame to see Harry go out, but then again, no great surprise. You know, new drivers, rookie drivers, these sort of conditions. Yeah, it takes someone special to keep the car on the track, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, Guido Urshan is really struggling to do exactly that, as he's battling with Peter Phillips as well for
they're
P8.
on the Kemmel straight.
He's really been applying the pressure here.
He has. Now this is the interesting one. Look at this. He's trying to look a way through. We're on board with Phillips now. And he's just trying to find a way through. He had to back off there, so that's why he's sort of backed off the McLaren ahead of him. Now Brussels could be an opportunity for him if he can get in tight on the exit. He's certainly closed it down a bit more now. And then he's got the opportunity of Pouhon. If he's confident around Pouhon, because Urshan just, I don't know, he just doesn't seem to have the grip, and I know that he does comment on you know, grip issues. Grip is a big thing for him in his racing, and in wet conditions you just don't have the same sort of grip, so it can be somewhat off-putting if you're looking for it.
Yeah, completely agree there. I know exactly that feeling.
Right on his gearbox now as they're coming down into Stavelot.
How's this for a twist? John Donkel's come in the pit and he's come out on the intermediate tyres.
Yeah, I just saw that when you say John, and I sort of looked down, I can see he came into the pits. I can now see he's on those intermediates. This is interesting because this rain is absolutely chucking it down. They're round 17 now. Oh, look at this, he's closing right in on the back of that McLaren now as they're coming round 17.
Visser in the pit as well, droning in the pit. This could shake things up really for the front runners.
Look at this. Phillips is going to try and see if he can make that move in that turn 1 La Source. Is he going to be able to? Don't think he is, but we'll see.
Guido's staying out. I'll start comparing his laps with
Visser just ahead of him.
Nicky.
Yeah, because Visser is just ahead of him now. So as they come through Rouge, up Radion. 3-second time penalty for Paul Poiret. Yeah, look at this, and Peter Phillips nicely lined up there on the back of that McLaren. They're side by side.
Oh, he's going to run out of juice.
Going to push as they come down. He just hasn't got enough.
No, he ran out of juice in the old engine there. The RS just conked out.
Not quite enough. He's going to have to replenish that ERS let's make sure he stays on the back of that McLaren. That's going to be a challenge in itself. But Peter Phillips really challenging on this. Oh, he's gone wide round Brussels. Oh, nearly spun it. Not quite. He's got that back, but you can tell he's pushing, isn't he?
Yeah, really going for it now. I think you sense his blood. John Donkel as well. Another spin around the sort of same kind of area where he's really been struggling with in this race. It always seems to be on the intermediate tyres as well. Any laps that he's done on those, he tends to spin. And Peter Phillips, we've lost him.
Yeah, he's gone out. I don't know what happened there. Let's get on his teammate. I think that was...
Pouhon.
Yeah, Pouhon. We're on board with Paul Quarret. Should see his teammate somewhere.
It's your favourite, Eddie, another VSD.
Oh, I love him. Love him.
Oh, that's a shame for Peter.
Quarret there on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Sorry, Phillips, as Quarret goes past him.
So still de Wit finally in the pit now. Baz de Breen as well, and Damie Hartman. The latter two just coming for intermediates.
What's the betting that still de Wit goes on to a fresh set of intermediates?
He's probably going to put socks on.
No, he's gone to another set of intermediates. I told you.
Yeah.
He's obviously comfortable with those, isn't he?
Yeah, he seems to be. I mean, I know his lap times were slower than the wet runners. Oh, did he just hit the wall coming out of the pit lane?
Yes, he did, because he's just lost his end plate on the front left.
Oh, silly Sill.
Silly Sill. Silly Sill. Hit the side.
Oh, dear.
So, yeah, he's lost an end plate, and that isn't going to help him. It's not the end of the world, but in these conditions, it's not going to be much help. He's got Nicky Visser now bearing down on the back of him as he's coming into Lecombe, going through Lecombe, and Visser can see him ahead, and he can see that he's struggling. He's just not being able to get that line, and Visser's just closing down on him, yet the bit moves across, and Nicky Visser takes that fourth place. Oh, this is tragic, because that means the Vit's going to have to come in again, isn't it?
Yeah. He'd be absolutely kicking himself over that.
Yeah, he will not be a happy bunny with that one, but it happens. I mean, the thing is, you're so keen to get out of there, but it is a horrible, not only pit entrance, but pit exit as well.
Yeah, that's right. And also, still de Wit, he is a relatively new driver to this league.
Well, yeah, new this season.
New this season, and with respect, he hasn't had all these sort of bad things happen to him yet, like a lot of the other drivers, like Nicky Visser and Boy Williamson and Baz de Breen. They've all had these crazy moments where something's gone horribly wrong, but they've all learned from it, and that's why we don't really see it happen very much to them anymore. Yeah. But the newer drivers, I know they may have, they race in other leagues, of course, and they may have had things happen there, but until it happens here, I don't think you really appreciate it when it doesn't.
Well, it's like everything, it's experience, isn't it? You can't experience it until you do it, and that's the way it works, basically. You can have an idea, but until it actually happens, you just don't know. So, yeah, definitely interesting one there. And, well, unfortunate for him, because he's going to drop back probably to P8, I would think.
Yeah, and you know what else this is going to do? I think this may put back on the set of intermediates that he just took off.
Oh, no, I hope not. No, it's just the nose. They've done no tyres.
No, these are fresh tyres. Oh, right, he had another set. I didn't know he had another set. Okay. So it's good. It's good that he didn't come in earlier then.
And he will be coming out actually P7, because Quarret has come in as well. So Quarret's coming in off those, so that's helped him somewhat. He's in P7. He's got Guido Urshan ahead of him, and then Marcel Dronig. Urshan not closing in on Dronig. He's actually lost time to Dronig, although interesting. Visser, he's up into fourth. Then Brian is in third. Damie Hartman is in second. Boy Williamson is leading this race, as he has done for a number of laps now. Now we're on lap 21 of 44. We're rapidly approaching the halfway mark. This is F1 Tonight, Netherlands, and we are here at the Spa Francorchamps track for the Belgian Grand Prix. That's round 13, and it's season 6 But F1 Tonight NL, Season 6, goodness me.
I must be approaching my 50th race on commentary with you soon.
I don't know. It's got to be pretty close. I mean, I've lost track. So I worked out. I was looking at the last Spa race here with the Dutch guys, and it was back in May.
Wow.
So roughly 6 months difference. So 2 seasons raced on average. Well, they are 2 seasons raced per annum, effectively. So season 6, that means started in 2016. Do that for me.
That was mildly impressive.
Mildly impressive? Yeah, listen, Mensa, mate, Mensa. And I'll tell you what, my Mensa works very well. It does some really nice Mensa meat.
Very good, very good. Conditions are rapidly improving, by the way. We've seen some purple sectors come in now. Boy Williamson fastest in the first sector. We've got Silver Hip fastest in the second sector, and Nicky Bliss fastest in the final sector of the last lap.
Well, I think conditions are going to start drying up somewhat. Let's run through our field and see where we are. We are with Martin Parder-Cooper. He's currently running in P12, just out of the points. So he's going to try and be pushing as much as he can. Then we have Mark Stappers in the Ferrari. He's currently P11 again, only just out of the points there in that P11 place. Then we have John Donkel in the sister Ferrari to Mark. He's in P10. He seemed to be progressing up the field, and then it all sort of spins and spinning again, and you know, those wets clearly weren't working for him. He's come back onto those intermediates, and he just seems somewhat more comfortable on them. As we say, obviously conditions are improving, but those wets, he just didn't get on with them. The intermediates, he was fine on, but the wets, he just did not like, it seems. Yeah,
well, he did have a couple of spins on the intermediates as well at the same same corner. But yeah, as you say, I think as the conditions do improve, I think he's getting a bit more sort of relaxed. I sort of feel a little bit bad for him, because he's he had been doing really well up to a point while it was dry, at least.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the heavens properly opened, I know it was actually raining during the formation lap, but when it was officially wet, if you like, it sort of all fell apart for him.
Yeah, unfortunately it did. Nishay Mahadwa Singh, though, up in P9, he's going to be not over the moon about it, but he's not going to be disappointed, I think. He's in the points, at least 2 points, isn't he?
Yeah.
At this moment.
Yeah, again, another right driver.
Just lost it on the exit of Brussels there, but doesn't go off track. Gets his composure back. And I'm still not a believer, Adrian.
Really?
I think it's just pure coincidence.
Every time you mention someone's name, they're just like, whoop. He's talking about me. Yeah.
I tell him, they're just not allowed to watch the stream, okay? Real F1 drivers have to look at a big screen if they're lucky once a lap, and that's it. I don't want these guys watching the stream, because it will put them off. But then again, the delay probably does as well, to be fair. That'd have to be well timed. So
that's true.
Nishay there in 9. I mean, 46 seconds at the moment off Poiré. Unlikely unless something major happens ahead of him. But at least he's in the points, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I mean, a large part of that 46 seconds was him actually spinning off track as well. I think more or less the same sort of corners as John was. I think he spun here at the bus stop chicane just a few laps ago. Yeah. Rejoined the track, but I think I wouldn't necessarily be a race to forget for him, because I know he's in the points, but I think he'd already be looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, you could well be right there. Paul Correa, though, in P8. I mean, he had a fantastic start. Let's be fair. Then it all went horribly wrong. Then he fell back, and now he's sort of progressed up again. He's working his way up there. I mean, unfortunately, his teammate Peter Phillips went out. But that incident Correa had earlier on with, you know, where he spun out on 17 and Hans van der Berg went out as well.
Sorry, Eddie. Still was about to overtake Guido, I think, putting under big pressure into the bus stop.
Yeah, he is. Big pressure.
Sorry to interrupt your flow.
No, good call there. He is, but got alongside him. But that McLaren just manages to pull out ahead. They were side by side on the exit of 19, and look at him, he's right on his coattails at this moment in time. Let's quickly go on board and see how that looks, obviously. And you can see here.
This should be Seals past. Guido's got nothing in the engine to defend.
Well, on that Kemmel straight, it's got no ERS, this will be the one. Should be fairly straightforward. Guido defend his line there. They're side by side, but just gets his... Oh, a little bit of wheel to wheel there. And, yeah, finally Guido concedes and says, look, OK, sod it, I'll let you through now. But he was contesting it, wasn't he? He wasn't going to make it easy for him.
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah, really defending very well there, Guido, despite the sort of disadvantage he had in the engine, as I said. But yeah, no, he did everything right there. Really late on the brakes. That's really brave defending from Urshan. So
yeah, definitely.
Well played.
Yeah, well, Guido Urshan, as we're saying there in that McLaren, good battle there with Silvervit, but De Witt goes out.
Niche spun at the bus stop again.
Oh,
third
dear.
time this race.
It can be tricky though. You've got to be, you know, it's not fun. Guido Urshan though in that P7 place, he has been further up. But I think he's had a good race. I think this will be a race that, at the end of it, as long as he sort of gets through the end, we're halfway through, over halfway through. I think he's going to be happy with it. I still think he's got an improvement though in this race to show. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Adrian.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping he's not sort of thinking too much about the sort of beginning of this race and kind of what could have been. I know we said earlier on, didn't we? You know, both of the McLarens were 1 and 3 at one point. Yeah. Which would have been great for them. But you know, 7th place is respectable. He'll pick up 6 points. Paul Cray is not really in any danger of sort of overtaking him. Yeah, I mean, and there's still half the race to go, so you know anything can happen ahead of him.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's Urshan there in 7th. Sil De Witt, well, obviously we've already touched on, and making that move on Urshan. He's there in that P6 position. P5, Marcel Dronig. He's always there or thereabouts, isn't he? He's a bit like a ghost. You sort of don't see him, and then all of a sudden there he is, and you think, where did he come from? But he's always there. He is. He's just not. How can I put it? He's just not a big brash driver like some of the others. He's just plugs away. He stays at that level, but it's a good, consistent, high level, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll have to look back at the old records for see how many top 5 finishes he's got. I'd imagine it's quite a few, particularly in this season, and perhaps even last season as well. But yeah, as you say, he's always there picking up double-digit points. So yeah, I think this is another sort of mission successful for him, as long as he does make it to the end. The rain has incidentally
stopped, and they're going to be going onto those drywall tyres fairly soon. Nicky Visser is in the pits already. Looks like John Donkel is in the pits as well. And Nicky's going onto the yellow walled mediums. John Donkel has gone onto the mediums as well. Visser had a penalty, looks like a stop penalty there. So that was a 5-second stop penalty there for Visser. He is onto the medium tyres now. Nicky, obviously, he's had an up and down race, hasn't he? I mean, he had a fantastic start, got right up, got into that P6. Ooh, really, doing a power slide out of the pits there. But,
I was about. Sorry to interrupt you. I was about to say about Nicky. I thought maybe he'd come into the pit a little bit too early. I didn't see that DRS enabled notification come up, which is normally sort of the telltale sign that it's officially a dry track. But it just came up as he was leaving the pit, so I don't think he could have timed it any better than that. I think this may be an advantage Visser. Yeah, I mean, as I say, but he's had an up and down race, hasn't he? Because he started at the back, got through, got a bit sort of tied down and stuck
in that sort of P6 position. Wasn't really going well. Then it sort of was getting wetter, came in, came out, dropped back down the field again. He's now back up there, that P5, first man out effectively in the official dry, although John Donkel obviously did come in only just ahead of him. This could serve him well. I mean, he's only 2.6 seconds off Dronig. He should take that 4th place, and he could well challenge actually for 3rd as well on De Bruyn, depending on what happens there, couldn't he?
Yeah, and you know what? I'd even go so far as to say it may even be a 1-2 for Red Bull here. I know you say he's had an up and down race. He's made some very early calls for his tyres. We saw him. He was the first driver to go onto the wet tyre. Oh, God, blimey! Nearly spun it there, Nicky.
17 tricky.
Yeah, that was. He was the first driver to go onto the full wet tyre. I thought it was too early. Perhaps it was. But he's the first driver on the medium tyre, and he's called it exactly right, and he just had a purple 3rd sector as well.
Yeah. And Brian is into the pits, has come out as well, Hartmann and Boy Williamson. So Nicky Visser now, I don't think that's a real, is that a real? No, yeah, 11 seconds, 10.8 off the back of Den Bruyn. Den Bruyn though, I mean, obviously, not quite what he was looking for from the start. He was there, but yeah, I mean P3, it's okay. He can still, there's still plenty left in there. I mean, he's only 5 seconds off the back of Hartmann 18 seconds off the back of Williamson. He's got an opportunity certainly for 2nd and possibly for still taking the win.
Yeah, let's look at Den Bruyn for a second, because in Q1, if you remember, it was dry conditions. He topped the table.
Yeah, a 1:44.7.
That's right. Q2, he topped the table again, dry conditions.
1:45.1.
And in Q3, he topped the table again, got pole position, dry conditions.
1:44.1.
It's now dry again on track.
Yeah.
I think this is his time to shine now. He was leading the beginning of this race as well, up until sort of lap 5 when it was sort of properly wet. And then that's when Boy really sort of put the power down and just created that. It was about almost a 20-second gap.
Yeah, it was up. Yeah, almost. It was 18 point something. Yeah.
So, but now we're back to dry conditions. I think we're going to see Baz de Bruyn setting fastest laps.
Well, I think definitely Damie Hartmann's going to come under challenge. There's no two ways about it from Den Bruyn. Damie Hartmann in qualification, didn't set any blinding times at all. Boy Williamson, different kettle of fish. Obviously, Boy is fast on this track as well. But I think Damie Hartmann is going to be coming under pressure from Baz very, very soon. Damie is in that 2nd place at this moment in time. But yeah, he's not safe there, is he, at this moment? He's definitely not safe.
No, definitely not. Yeah, he will find himself under pressure pretty rapidly. Still a bit though, 52.9. Previous fastest lap was Nicky Visser with a 53.5.
Wow. But, I mean, Adrian, this is the thing. 16 laps remaining. These guys on these mediums, they're going to go to the end of the race now, as long as it stays dry, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah. I think there's no more strategy calls unless it does.
Look at that.
Start raining again.
151.3.
51.3. This track is drying
rapidly
up.
Drying up. Rapidly. And let's go on board, Damien. I mean, that track is pretty much dry as far as I can see, certainly around this 3rd sector.
Yeah, the water is surface water is certainly gone. It's not only that, we're seeing rubber being put down now as well.
Boy Williamson now 150.2, so these times are dropping rapidly, and we did about another sort of 3 laps, 4 laps. We should see them comfortably into those high sort of 147s, 148s. I'm pretty sure they're going to be coming along very, very soon indeed.
49.0 from Baz.
Yeah. So Damie Hartmann currently in P2, but Baz de Bruyn is closing in on him. He's only 2.3 seconds off the back of him. Boy Williamson in the Red Bull, though. I mean, he's going to be happy with this race. He really has driven a very good race for Boy. I mean, not saying that Boy's bad. He isn't, obviously. But, yeah, it's a really good race from him, isn't it?
Yeah, completely flawless, I would say. He started on the front row. I think he was on the front row, wasn't he, Boy?
No, yeah, he was.
P2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Nick Mahadra Singh just got past Donkel at the Camel Straight.
Yeah.
He said Castrol Straight.
So Mahadra Singh getting past John Donkel for that P9 position.
Oh,
that's good show from
Nisha's
him.
flying.
Is he?
Yeah, he pulled out a gap of a whole second already.
Oh my God, he has. Yeah, look at that. Let's get down to there. Yeah. He's already, as you say, a second ahead. I mean, has John Donkel got any issues there? I don't think he has. It's just.
I don't think he has.
No, I just think Mahadra Singh is just really pushing it, isn't he? He's finding his element now. But to be fair, I mean, he did set a 1:45.2 in Q2, so he's got the speed. I mean, he's got 29 laps effectively under his belt now of this track. He's got the feel of it. Because another thing is he's getting the feel for it as well. I mean,
yeah.
You know, you can do practice, but, you know, it's different when you come under race conditions. And he's probably reached that point now where he's, yeah, I know where I am, I know what I'm doing, I know my braking points now in the dry, I'm not going to mess about, I know my grip, and he's really pushing the boat out, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. That's right, he's developing as a driver. I don't know if you saw there, it only flashed up for a moment. Boy Williamson just set a 48.5.
Wow.
Which is more than a second faster than his teammate, who's more than a second faster than anybody else.
Wow. Well, this is going to be very good indeed. As I say, all these guys now will be going to the end of this race. I don't envisage anybody coming in now unless conditions change or they have an on-track incident. So Nisha Mahadra Singh now onto the Kemmel Straight. And he's pulled out. He's not pulling away as much as he was. He's 1.7 seconds now from John Donkel, but he's still got almost a minute to Paul Quaret. So I don't think he's going to be able to close it down unless something major happens ahead of him.
No, I don't think so. Having said that, well, yeah, it's just going to depend on what does happen ahead of him, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Back on board now with Baz Den Bryan. He's 2.7 seconds off the back of Davey Hartman. Hartman's clearly opened it up somewhat because that gap's more or less maintained. But Den Bryan, I'm sure, has got view, or he certainly will have, of Hartman. He comes around, you can just see him going round there as they come down into turn 17, so he knows where his target is now, and that really makes such a difference when you can see that car ahead of you, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It gives you something to sort of aim for. You know, on the flip side of that, you could say it's I wouldn't say off-putting, but it can make you and cause you to make mistakes if you are trying that bit too hard to try and close up the gap.
Yeah, and the other thing as well I find sometimes is you get a little bit autonomous where you're close enough behind the driver not to actually necessarily make a move with them, but you seem to mirror all the moves they make, which at times can be somewhat disastrous if they make a wrong move.
Yeah, I've done that so many times. Someone gone off and, I've just followed them exactly, always the same tyre tracks all across the grass.
Yeah, I've done that myself. You do have to concentrate, you have to forget about them really and just concentrate on your own line. But Den Bryan has lost time. Hartman has pulled out the valves there because he's closing down on Boy Williamson as well. So he's taken a second out of the time that he had to Boy Williamson. So clearly he's opening up that ERS, isn't he?
That's exactly definitely. Right. Yeah, exactly right. Got nothing left, or not much left of it. Set the fastest last sector on the previous lap and first sector on this lap. So he's obviously just trying to create that gap.
Well, I mean, he's going to, because this is a fight for P2 ultimately between these two guys, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't see any of them challenging Boy. I can't really see anyone challenging Boy at this moment. But speaking of autonomously, autonomy. That doing
Speaking
things
of
automatically.
something being automatic.
Yeah, that one. Boy Williamson's last 3 lap times, I'll read them out to you exactly. 1:48.593, 1:48.562, 1:48.568.
Wow, that's consistent. And sunshine. You see shadows and sunshine now. The clouds have really opened up.
Yeah, but it just goes to show, doesn't it? You know, once you start getting into your groove, it's the sun starts shining apparently.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at that. The sun opened up as you were going through that. Clearly the sun is indeed shining on the righteous here at Spa Francorchamps. Boy Williamson, yeah, I mean, it's convincing, isn't it? But these Red Bull guys this season, they really have delivered, haven't they?
Yeah, in such a big way. Such a big way as well.
I mean, great team combination, I think.
Yeah, I think between them they've had more than 10 podiums.
Yeah.
I think it's more than 12 podiums. There were a couple of races I have not seen, or nobody's seen, because they were sort of behind closed doors, if you like.
Yeah.
But they've just been so consistent, the pair of them. Nicky with those 5 wins early on.
They were last season as well in Mercedes, if I'm correct, aren't they?
They were, yeah, quite right.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously a good team combination there, working well. And Urshan picking up 3-second time penalty. I saw Dronig picked up a 3-second time penalty earlier on as well, which is unusual because Marcel Dronig normally is the cleanest of the clean, isn't he?
Yeah, normally. He's certainly one of the most consistent drivers, as we said, always in the top 5. And he has impressed me here. He tends to do that every race these days.
He does. We all suddenly go, oh, it's Marcel Dronig. Look at that. He's up there. It does, it sort of catches you. But, certainly a great run. Right, well, let's have a look through the drivers. We're on lap 33 of 44. 11 laps remaining. And let's have a look through the field. We start with a field of 18 drivers. We're down to 12. DNFs were Zander Hermans for Williams, Arie Kopp for Racing Point, Hans van der Berg for Toro Rosso, Jamie Collane for Mercedes, Yul Tyson for Racing Point, Peter Phillips for Haas. Those are our DNFs. In P12 we have Martin Parda-Cooper in that Alfa Romeo. Doesn't look as if he's going to be taking any points home, unfortunately, today. In P11 we have the Ferrari of Mark Stappers. Again, not looking as if he's going to be taking any points home either today, but certainly a good run from him. Stappers, though, I've got to say, I mean, first driver certainly in season 5 to run in cockpit view and without assists. I know a number of other drivers have followed. I'm not too sure how many, but Stappers, he is a quality driver, but I think I think his season 5 panned out better than this season so far, hasn't it?
I think so. I'm sure he had more points this season, this time last season than he does now. Having said that, in Stappers' credit, he always finishes races.
Yeah. He never,
give it everything.
Ever gives up.
He'll give it everything right to the end. I mean, he's a minute and 15 behind 10th.
Yeah.
At the moment, and he's still pushing for his fastest lap of the race.
But to be fair, as we've learned time and time again, you just have no idea what's going to happen, because anything can happen. Even with those 10 laps now remaining, anything can still happen, can't it?
Exactly, and that's why we try to urge the drivers, both of F1 Tonight Netherlands and of the UK League. No matter what happens, just keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep going. I mean, you could be so far behind. I mean, John Donkel himself, he pitted 16 times at Monaco, finished 6 laps behind. Yeah. I finished 7 laps behind at Germany. Yeah. But I finished the race and I picked up a point. So,
oh dear, I don't know what's happened there. Stappers has just completely missed the curb, gone over the grass, and I think he's trying to let other drivers through, but I don't know. There's something not right here. He's slowed right down.
Yeah, he's aware of the.
He's just letting the other guys through. Yeah, he's just letting the other guys through there. The leaders, and that's good. That's good gamesmanship, really. let the other guys through, don't get in their way, got right off the track there. And now he's struggling. Oh, no! Whoa!
Keep it together.
Keep it together. He has got end plate damage on the front right.
Yeah, that won't phase him. That won't phase him. I mean, he knows, he knows what he needs to do. He just wants to finish the race.
Mark, the track's on the left, mate.
The big black bit.
Yeah, it's
not that black bit.
No, on the right now. He's going grass cutting now. Look at this. He's just trying to cut. I know what he's trying to do. He knows he's got damage. He's got to come into the pits.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to get out of the way of these guys, isn't he? Look at this.
That's what it is.
He's just trying to move out of the way as much as he can. Oh, what a horrible position for him to be in. But yeah, fair play to him.
Oh, Boy Williamson's in the pit. Boy Williamson's come out on the soft tyre.
Do you know what? I had a sneaky suspicion that he might go for it because he had enough of a gap, didn't he?
It was a huge gap, yeah. Yeah,
so
that's a good call.
It is a good call, and it'd probably get him the fastest lap as well because no one else is going to want to risk it. John Donkel is in P10, so he will be picking up a championship point. Then we have Nishay Mahadwa Singh. He's coming into the pits. He's going onto the softs as well. Fair play because he's a minute or so behind. Yeah, I mean, why not go for it? You know you can do fast laps. You know, there are 9 laps remaining now. Nothing lost by doing that. So he's come into the pits. He will relinquish. I think he will probably come out in P10. That has pushed John Donkel up into P9. P8 is Paul Correa. And I think Paul is going to be happy with his race today. I think he is. He's going to be disappointed, obviously, with that spin out of 17 that unfortunately caused that incident with Hans and the Bird. But as I say, there was nothing that he could have done there. But, a good recovery from him nonetheless.
Yeah, I think it's a bit bittersweet for him, as you said. He might have been thinking about what could have been, or, he could be pleased with his, 4 points for 8th place.
Well, I think he should be certainly pleased. I mean, he got up into that P3 position. He's really done, I think, very, very well. He's recovered from, a pretty bad incident. It could have been a lot worse. I think he's, if I was Paul, I'd be saying, not what I wanted, but I think you rightly put it, Adrian. Bittersweet, really.
Yeah. Still, De Wit is only 0.8 of a second behind Marcel Dronig now. This is the battle for 5th unfolding.
Yeah. And Brian just putting in the fastest lap by the looks of it as well.
I haven't really seen Dronig under any pressure really in this race. He's been left kind of to his own devices. Yeah,
he has pretty much. He's now a second behind, but Guido Urshan just quickly going back there. He's in that P7 place. I think he's going to finish the race there, depending upon what happens ahead of him again. But I think at least he's in good points. Maybe not quite where he wanted to be, but at least he's picking up some good points there. Still, De Wit, as you were saying, obviously he is closing down now on the back of Marcel Dronig, and De Wit, he's had a great rookie season so far, hasn't he? He really has.
Yeah. I mean, he's shown great promise so far this season, particularly his race at Silverstone in Britain, when he was battling with Boy Williamson to the very end of the race, and unfortunately just lost it on the final corner. Still managed to pick up that 2nd place. But it's certainly a race that he could have won if it just got gone his way earlier on in that race.
Yeah, it's, the racing gods don't always smile on you, but he's showing some really great form, and as I've said before, and I'll say it again, this is a future champion in the making, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could not agree more with that.
So Marcel De Wit now. So comes around the wonderful Pouhon down towards turn 13, 14 campus. Sorry, 13 campus, 14 Stavelot, get that right. Now watch his exit out of here. This is the one that counts. And that's really good. He's really using the full width of the track. Pedal down, but equally Dronig ahead of him as well. Maintaining the gap. It is down to 0.8 again. 17 is always true. Now, what do you do round 17? I'll tell you what I do, and you can. I always drop it down a gear, just to give me that extra oomph.
Yeah, you're not alone in that. It helps, a lot of people say it helps with the rotation of the car as well, the way it turns around that corner at that speed. Yeah, I myself tend to keep it in gear rather than dropping it down. But, you know, everyone's got their own methods. There's no right or wrong.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, to me, I'm just able to take that corner far more confidently when I drop it down that one gear, rev the hell out of the car. And then just put it back up again before dropping down, obviously, into the bus stop.
Yeah, always got the DRS here. I think it's
making the move.
Quite easy in the end, wasn't it?
Pretty straightforward move there. So good move there from Sil de Wit. Moves up into that 5th place. Marcel Dronig, as I said, I mean, he has had a great race, whichever way you look at it. He's always there. He's always in the points. We've said it earlier on, and I'll say it again, but a very consistent, good driver, and reflected in that Drivers' Championship standings, sitting in 7th place at the moment.
Yep. Yeah, so, I mean, and he hasn't raced every race this season, has he? I think his first race was, what was his first race? Canada.
Yeah. So great one there from him. Nicky Visser, current leading the championship at this moment in time, but only just, it has to be said, there's not a huge difference. He's sitting in that 4th place. This is going to cost him today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, 18 points for second there for Damien Hartman, who's his closest rival. The gap was, what was it, 12 points? So 18 for second, he's going to pick up 12 for 4th, so he loses 6. So that the gap comes down to just 6 points.
So he will still be leading, but he'll be 6 points adrift to second place in the championship, Damien Hartman. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to make. I think this is going to be a very, very tight finish to this season, Adrian.
Yeah, I completely concur there.
So Nicky Visser in that 4th place. He's staying on those mediums. There are only 6 laps to go. He's not going to gain anything. He certainly doesn't want to come in and give Sil de Wit the opportunity. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be staying out on those. P3. Baz Den Bryan, he's there, isn't he? But he hasn't been able to close down to Damie. Damie's really been using that ERS to the full, and Baz is a great ERS master, and you know, certainly on his tyres as well. Great experience, but he's just not able to close down to Damie at this moment, is he?
He's not. No, I mean, you know, Baz Den Bryan he's one of the most. You know, strategic, I suppose, drivers that there are, and you know, if there is such a thing as a strategy master in F1 tonight, then it's surely him. But even he, is not able to match. I think it's just the raw pace, to be quite frank, of Damien Hartman. Particularly when it was wet. He is catching him now that it's dry. As I said, you know, the advantages with Baz. We may see a fight for P2 at the sort of very end of this race.
He's been closer. He was 2.3 seconds off him. Now he's 4.1. He may be closing down that gap, but he's just not able to get close enough. Every time he closes it, Damien Hartman just opens up the valves and whoa, away he goes.
Yeah, that could actually just be a knee-jerk reaction from Damie. You know, when he notices the gap behind him, he just crank up that ERS again and maintain that gap. But he's doing it. He's doing it right. He's doing it effectively, and it's working.
He is doing it effectively, and it is definitely working. And talking of, obviously, Damien Hartman, there he is in that 2nd place. I think he's going to be happy with that. 3-second time penalty for Nicky Visser.
That won't be significant, I don't think.
So it's Guido going off track.
Yeah, no, Guido's in the pit. He was.
Oh, he is. Yeah. He's going on to the softs. That's what it is.
Well, he's lost a place though to Paul Correa. So I wonder if he picked up damage somewhere.
May have done. Is he actually getting any parts replaced? No, he's out onto track, so I don't really know on that one. Damien Hartman, though, up into that 2nd place. Not, you know, a great qualification for him, but he's recovered and he's really showing his colours, isn't he? He's come through strong on this.
Yeah, driving like a champion, really. To be perfectly honest, yeah, he started P5. It wasn't the greatest qualifying, as you said, but here he is in P2 with just 4 laps remaining, plus the end of this one. And he's, in fairness, he's only 7.8 off of Boy, who has got penalties. So I'm just going to have a look at that now.
Yeah, but Boy did come in. I mean, the gap was bigger. Boy did come in and pit and go on to those soft tyres.
Soft tyres, yeah.
So obviously lost time there, but confident that going on to those softs, he was going to stay ahead of Damien. He certainly makes sense. Unlikely that Damien was going to come in and go on to a different set of tyres unless Dembrain did, because obviously Dembrain is his challenger at this moment in time. I don't think he was really challenging for P1. If the opportunity came along, he'd take it, but he's more interested in protecting that P2 position, I think.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, effectively, he's just racing Nicky, isn't he? Regardless of sort of anyone else.
Yeah.
And he's beating Nicky, so that's mission complete for him.
Mission accomplished. Yeah, definitely. Well, we got 4 laps remaining, and John Donkel has retired. Okay, don't know what's happened there.
Trying to see where he is. I know he's some way behind. His teammates some way behind him.
Well, it's about a minute or so
we've got a full
behind
safety car. Sorry, we've got a full safety car.
We have got a full safety car. Oh my goodness. Okay, full safety car, and this is advantage Dembrain, isn't it?
Boys in the pit.
Again?
Yep. I wonder if Damien will stay out. No, Damien's coming in.
And going on to a set of softs.
Baz is coming in. Oh, and Nicky?
Yeah, everyone's coming in. Stappers is coming in as well. Parder Cooper stays out. So Parder Cooper stays out. He's assumed P11. The Stappers came in. I'm just trying to see where John Donk. It was Eau Rouge. It must have been.
Yeah, I think it might have been.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Eau Rouge. Don't know who's actually. Safety car is just ahead. So let's go with Boy Williamson.
Be interesting to see what Sil and Marcel do.
Yeah, it was Eau Rouge. The car has, or was it Le Coup? Yeah, it was Eau Rouge. I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, Sil's staying out.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be further out. Parder Cooper's still there, so I'm wondering whether it was actually. We wouldn't see his car. It should have been cleared from the track now. But this is really going to play into the hands of Dembrain, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Dembrain, for me, is the fastest man on the track in these conditions. So, yeah, it's going to be, well, I wouldn't say gifted to him, but it's his to lose now, or his to fight for.
What a fantastic finish. We are going to, now I'm just trying to work out when this safety car is going to come in. We're on lap 41. If we're lucky, it's going to come in at the end of lap 42, and that means that we will have two rounds of the circuit without the safety car. I suspect, though, it might come in at the end of 40. No, it should come in at the end of 42. Yeah, it should come in at the end of 42.
Depending on where people are on track as well, it may decide to come in at the end of this lap because it's such a long lap.
I think it's unlikely. I've never seen a safety car come out on a lap and then go back in again on the same lap.
Oh, sorry, it only come out this lap, didn't it? Yeah, sorry. Yep.
I know what you're saying, though. It is a very, very long circuit, especially under this safety car. And the other thing as well, and this is what we need to take into account here, is these guys that are close in behind the safety car, they are going to be struggling to keep the heat in those tyres, aren't they?
Yep. Yeah, they are. Particularly the ones at the very front of this queue have been behind the car, behind the safety car for the longest. Boy Williamson must be really sort of fuming in that car now, because he's done a lot of work this race. He built up a 22-second gap when it was raining. The gap come down to 7. Well, yeah, he pitted, didn't he? Pitted for the soft tyres to get fastest lap, which is definitely the right thing to do, considering he had such a huge gap.
Now, the other one I'm looking at here as well, sorry, Adrian, the other one I'm looking at here as well is Nicky Visser. Because this could really play into the hands of Visser. He's got a Ferrari ahead of him on track, which is Mark Stappers. Sure, Stappers will move aside. I can't see him contending because Stappers is effectively at the back of the grid there. Nicky can't overtake him. Can he overtake him? No, he can't, can he?
No.
So he's got to wait till they start racing again. So that will be at the end of this lap. So it'll be the start of lap 43. My goodness me. This is going to be very, very interesting indeed. Okay, so Visser, I'm sure, will clear Stappers pretty quickly. We've also got Martin Paardenkoper in the mix there. He's actually just ahead of Davey Hartman. So Paardenkoper will be ahead of Davey Hartman. He's going to move aside as well. Yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting indeed, because I'm looking at these top four. It could be anybody's. It really could be anybody's in these final 2 laps, or as will be final 2 laps once the safety car comes in, isn't it?
It could literally go to any one of those top 4, I would say. Till Till de Wit and Marcel Dronig behind did not come in during the safety car period, so they're still on the old medium tyres. So I can't imagine them being competitive for sort of any overtakes.
Well, if I was Sil de Wit, I wouldn't be worrying about who's ahead of me. I'd be more concerned about that guy behind me. Yep. In that Rocket Williams, because Dronig is no slouch and he's going to definitely be pushing de Wit. So I think de Wit is going to have to go, well, if not defensive, but certainly try and get ahead or stay ahead of Dronig as much as he can. Urshan as well, I mean, he's on the soft compound tyres. He's got both the soft runners of Dronig and de Wit ahead of him. We could see, potentially, Urshan make the move on both of those guys and get up into that 5th place. It's going to be interesting all round. It's going to be interesting for that 5th place. It's going to be crucial for these podium finishes as well.
Yeah, it's a big opportunity now for Guido. Oh, there's a collision.
There's contact. I think that was Paardenkoper.
It said Mahadra Singh severe collision.
Yeah. And that was just that 5-second penalty on Guido Urshan. He unfortunately went into the back of him, but yeah, that's Nishay pretty much done. But that is just lack of concentration, isn't it?
Yeah. It's so easily done during these safety car periods, particularly one right at the end.
Right. Sorry, Adrian, but the guys are approaching the bus stop now. Boy Williamson is already starting to open up. Yes, he is. Away he goes. Baz then Brian is already up there with Davey Hart and Paardenkoper moving across there. Nicky Visser getting past Stappers, watching the guys ahead of him. But Brian trying to get down close to Davey Hartman. Boy Williamson already putting out 2.1 seconds on Davey Hartman. Oh, this is going to be very, very close indeed. This really is, because these guys are going to be pushing us on. Oh, did Brian pick up a 3-second time penalty?
Oh, dear.
Oh, he did not want that. Definitely not.
I think it's going to end in tears for someone here in the top 4.
Yeah, Visser just coming through Lecombe. De Bruyn coming to the end of Lecombe with Davey Hartman ahead of him. But look at Boy Williamson, 2.5 seconds already ahead of Davey Hartman. Wow, this is going to be brilliant. This is F1 tonight. Netherlands, and we are here at the Spa Francorchamps track for round 13, the final 2 laps. The cars have become really close under that safety car, but Boy Williamson has managed to pull out ahead of Davey Hartman by 2.4 seconds. Hartman is in second. He's got De Bruyn 900ths off the back, or 9,000, 0.9, sorry, of a second off the back of him. Nicky Visser 0.8 off the back of him. It's all going to be down to this final lap, isn't it, Adrian?
That's what it's going to come down to in the end. And respect to Boy Williamson, he was really ready for that safety car restart, wasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. You could see him opening up the valves just as they were coming into the bus stop. He really started to lay down the power. De Wit picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's clearly defending there from Dronig. As I said, Urshan is like right on the back of Dronig as well. This really could be anybody's. Let's quickly run down there. Guido Urshan now, look at this, on the back of Marcel Dronig as they come into that first turn of La Source. Look at that, right on his gearbox. Dronig under a lot of pressure there. Then Dronig, he can see Sildo ahead of him, but he's more preoccupied with those red chevrons that he can see in his screen. Then we've got Sildovit. He's just come out of Rouge and down onto the Kemmel Straight now. He's 4.5 seconds off the back of Visser. Visser, 600ths off the back of Baz Dembrayen. Dembrayen, 900ths off the back of Davey Hartman. Davey Hartman still 2.4 seconds off the back of Boy Williamson. This is the final lap. Boy Williamson is under a lot of pressure here. Not necessarily from the car behind him, but the pressure of making sure that you don't muck it up.
Very well said.
Because that's all that's going. I'll tell you what, that's all that's going through Boy's head now is don't muck it up, don't muck it up, don't muck it up. That is a guarantee, absolute cast iron guarantee. But look at this, Dembrayen here, he's really trying to get up close as he can to Davey Hartman, but Davey Hartman is just not giving him the opportunity. Boy Williamson now coming round, turn 17. Yes, here he comes. He's got 2 turns to go, and Sildowit has got out.
Oh no!
Sildowit has DNF'd. Oh, I'm not going to cut back to that, but I'm sure we'll find out where that is. Boy Williamson comes out of the final turn, takes the win. Davey Hartman comes in second. Baz Dembrayen is third. Nicky Visser is fourth. Fantastic run there. Marcel Dronig comes in fifth. Guido Urshan comes in sixth. Sildowit DNF's. Paul Correa will finish seventh. He's going to be very happy with that. Nishay Mahadwa Singh, he'll come out. I think he may finish, yeah, he will finish eighth, yeah. 10 will be, 9 will be Martin Pardicu, but Mark Stappers will actually pick up points because he'll finish in P10.
See, and there you go. And he was 1 minute and 15 behind behind 10th place earlier on.
Yep. So, there you have it. That is the conclusion of this F1 Tonight Season 6, Round 13 here at Spa Francorchamps. It was unlucky for some, but very lucky for others. And I'll tell you what, Damie is going to be so happy after that safety car that he managed to stay ahead of Nicky Visser and also keep Baz Dembrayen between the two of them, because those points are important, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Damie may be slightly disheartened that, you know, he had an opportunity to win the race here. It was, but yeah, I think as long as he beats Nicky, he'll be happy. Yeah.
So there we have Boy Williamson takes the cup for the win here at Red Bull. Second is Davey Hartman, and third Baz Dembrayen in the McLaren. What an absolutely fantastic race, I've got to say. Nail biter right at the end there with that safety car. It really, really did mix it up, but the guys managed to keep their positions. And there you have it. Now, Adrian, it has come to that time, and I've got to say, we haven't discussed this, but...
well, I've been trying to.
Have you? I haven't seen anything.
Discord?
Oh, well, come on. I'm on my WhatsApp. Give me a break. Oh, seriously. Honestly, you just fall in love with certain things, and there's just no way to deal with it. Okay, well, I haven't had a look at that yet. Let's have a look here. What have you got? Yes, it's got to be. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Go on.
Well,
driver of the day is
Nicky Visser. Nicky Visser, who started 15th, don't forget, crashed out in Q1.
Yeah.
And has managed to pull it back to P4. Very much damage limitation for him, but he really did limit that damage.
Yeah.
And picked up fastest lap as well. So the gap is not 6 points, it's actually
7 points. Yeah, picks up fastest lap, started in that P15 position. I've got to agree, fantastic race from all the drivers, but Nicky Visser does indeed get driver of the day. Right, so Adrian, Spa out of the way. This Thursday, you're going to be at Spa with the F1 Tonight UK boys.
That's right, Tuesday. Yes.
Tuesday, sorry, not Thursday. Sorry, I'm losing the plot here.
Yes, yeah, looking forward to that one big time. This is one of my favourite ones to race. Yeah, really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it should certainly be a good one. So this coming Tuesday, 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time, we will be back here at Spa Francorchamps for the F1 Tonight UK race for Season 1, Round 13. And a week today, on Thursday, we are going to be in a Bella Italia for the Monza Grand Prix, the Italian Grand Prix at the Monza. That's right.
That is right. That is right.
So this time next week, Thursday, we will be here again with the F1 Tonight Netherlands boys, 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time, and they will be racing for the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Always a track that is worth watching. Well, it only leaves me to say good night. I hope that you've enjoyed it. We certainly have. So it's a good night from me.
And good night from me.
Good night, everyone. Take care. See you next.